Yeah, that'd be fine. Grab your headsets, boys. All right, this is Jay. This is Jay play-by-play. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Check, 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 check. Jay play-by-play, far left. Thank you.
Go ahead, Al.
Alan?
This is Al. I can't hear. I did not hear Jay through the headset. Check 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I'm not hearing anything.
Yeah, I'm not hearing much in mine either.
Well, we'll see if I can do any better.
I don't hear yours.
No, I can't hear myself either, so that's not a good sign.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I
Really?
see you. I hear you down there, but I don't hear. Can you talk, bro?
Testing 1, 2, 3. Good evening, hockey fans.
Yeah, I don't hear Brof much.
I don't
I
hear.
hear me now. I hear me better.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, I can hear Alan.
Oh, that
Great.
was big.
Yeah.
Can you
Can you
hear
hear?
I can't hear Brof though.
I can't hear Brof yet either.
Oh, I can hear you, the other two, and I can hear myself. But
I still.
I'm testing 1, 2, 3. Test, test, test on a beautiful night in Sun Prairie.
It's kind of cold and windy.
Yeah. 6:44 p.m. with 16 minutes to kick off at this thrilling Big 8 tilt. How we doing?
I do not hear Brof.
I do not hear Brof at all.
I'm on the far right. Yeah.
Red wire. Try that. Yeah,
So you need about Jay to do this?
You need electrical engineer.
Oh, man. Why doesn't that pop out?
Yep.
Why can't I get that out, Wolf?
You got a bad hip.
Oh, Jesus.
Don't hurt.
You got a bad head.
Don't tear your rotator cuff when you get it out.
Don't do that. Wes, should it be really hard to get that red thing out? Yeah.
He is pushing it. He's tried he's exhausted all.
Give that just try and yank that out. Jesus.
Maybe he can get it out because we can't.
Yeah, Wes, I can't even get that thing out.
And it doesn't look like it wants to come out.
Okay. Jeez. Right? That sucker won't come out. I grew up on a farm. This shouldn't be that hard.
No. You need our pliers.
Yeah. So that apparently that thing isn't loosening. That could be part of the issue if it's not in there. If it's in there.
Is Wes coming up here to help?
He said he was, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. It's unbelievable. It's just so hard to get out. I can't even get this out with.
Yeah, they get bent, they get stepped on, they get run over.
Somehow I think that there's better stuff in Baylor and San Diego State. What do you think? Just a guess.
Whoop.
It's like stuff.
Yeah.
Stuff Big Ten.
Is Jim at the truck? You know, have you seen Jim?
He's down by he's still down there by the field.
So I'm not getting any IFB. There you go.
Ooh, we got it out.
Ooh, I heard a click.
Test it.
You can turn up 3.
Craig?
All right, Brof, go ahead.
Testing 1, 2, 3. Can you hear me?
I cannot.
I can't hear myself
I'm
either.
not getting anything on IFB for some reason. And Jim's down at the field, so I don't know if that's any big deal. What's that?
I could hear those guys for what
I believe that's right, yes.
But I can't hear myself. So
No, I can't hear you either. Nothing
Sure,
still?
that'd be fine. Yep.
Yeah, now I can hear me.
And I,
Yeah. Just turn that up.
Yeah.
But we still can't. Keep going.
Wes,
Testing 1, 2, 3. Test Ryan. Ryan, can you hear me?
I think I can hear you.
Can-
Keep
yeah.
talking.
Testing from beautiful
you
Sun
think
Prairie,
they can
Ashley
hear you
Field
in the truck?
on a
I
cold.
can hear you, but I'm not sure if I'm hearing you through
Yeah,
through
the-
program or.
We're close. Yeah.
So, oh,
Yeah.
'cause,
Testing, testing,
yeah,
testing.
Do they get your IFB?
Test, test, test. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Yeah, I can hear you a little bit.
Wait.
Okay.
It's coming through these though, for sure.
Yeah. Okay.
It's just not super loud,
Yeah.
and I think I can still crank you a little bit.
Okay.
Probably not turning you up a lot.
Sure, that sounds great. Great, thank you. Any left? Yeah.
I'm not real loud.
Okay. And you can crank you a little, maybe?
He did crank me.
And it's pink out night, apparently.
Lots of pink.
Oh boy.
It's a pink out.
All right.
Who do our kids
Typically, they wait till.
They play the Watertown for the Battle of the Windless, right?
Oh. Yeah, well. Yeah. It's timeless.
Next week, huh? There's only one home game left. He said that must be homecoming.
For these guys?
Days.
Oh, for these guys?
Have a pink out.
Oh. Oh, yeah.
It's in Middleton and West after next week. October 5th.
Yeah.
We got Middleborough. They got to play it.
Yeah.
Greg, too.
Yeah.
Comes back pretty loud on mine.
Yeah. I'm pretty loud too.
Okay.
Yeah. And you're up to snuff on the headset?
Yeah.
You're good? Okay.
Close to the middle.
About 5 minutes. Whoop, I gotta use. Okay. Oh. All right. Whoop. Ooh, 55 degrees. It says 12, but I'm guessing it's a little more than that. Yeah, it says 12, but that's got to be more than that. 5. Good evening from Ashley Field in Sun Prairie. Time for the Prep Mania Game of the Week on TBW and Channel3000.com. We're in the Big 8 Conference again this week as the Madison La Follette Lancers visit the Sun Prairie Cardinals. Hi, everybody. Great to have you on board tonight on a cool and windy evening. It's 55 degrees. The wind is listed at 12 miles an hour, but there are some gusts that make it a little more than that. There you see the Madison La Follette Lancers in their white road uniforms with maroon pants. Sun Prairie will be in the home red tops with white pants. And right off the bat, Brof, you saw number 5 for Madison La Follette. One of their top two-way players. He will not be playing tonight.
Yeah, he's a good player, Kevian James Ragland. And you saw he wasn't in pads, and that's a big blow to the Lancers that come in 3-2. But Ragland's their leading rusher. Second-team All-Conference linebacker in the Big 8 a year ago, and also a second-team All-Conference running back. So they'll have to go at it with a little short-handed against the Sun Prairie team that's won 4 in a row and is one game out of first place in the Big 8.
Yeah, and Al, we saw Sun Prairie with a big win in Verona last week, and we were also there for their opening weekend loss to Madison Memorial. But the Sun Prairie Cardinals, they're a team that seemed to be putting it together last month.
I was really impressed last week with the improvement that they showed. Their offensive line really came off the ball and opened up holes. Shower looked a lot more definitive with his cuts, and I thought Gillis really threw the ball well, and they had come up with even more creative ways to get Cooper Nelson the football.
The one thing they've improved on as well is their defense. In the opening game loss to Memorial, they turned the ball over 3 times, only had 1 takeaway themselves. In the last 4 games, all wins. They're now plus 12 in the takeover ratio, and that's what their hallmark was a year ago when Sun Prairie went to the finals in Division I and lost to Kimberly at Camp Randall.
Yeah, you offer kids hot dogs, all of a sudden they get those turnovers going pretty good. They got the hot dog heroes by the coach.
That's Robert Shively putting it in play. Madison La Follette won the toss and deferred, so Sun Prairie will get the ball first. Here comes the return, and it's going to get out past the 30-yard line. And on the return for Sun Prairie is Jacob Powley, their senior linebacker, who gets the Cardinals to the 30-yard line, 1st and 10.
He's one of those hot dog heroes. He's got a couple interceptions this year.
Sun Prairie 4-1 in the Big 8 Conference. Madison La Follette coming in at 3-2. They're both chasing Madison Memorial at 5-0. And the big game tonight in the Big 8 is Memorial is playing at Verona. Here's Gillis on the first play, throwing it outside to Cooper Nelson. They have Nelson try to make a play, and he'll get about 3, maybe 4. La Follette came away with the football. Eric Lumpkin had it, but the whistle had blown, so it's 2nd down, Sun Prairie.
Yeah, we saw this last week a little bit out of Sun Prairie, this stacked receiver look. Good way to get an easy access throw to Cooper Nelson and let him stretch that big frame out. He falls forward, and he's got 3.
La Follette has already allowed one more pass completion this week than they did last week. Craig did not complete a pass in last week's game. A 17-10 Craig victory.
Pre-snap penalty looks like it's going to go against Sun Prairie. By the way, that was Cooper Nelson's 30th reception of the year. He's over 500 yards, and he has 7 touchdowns this season. Last week against Verona, Cooper Nelson with 7 catches for 105 yards.
He's averaging 17 yards a catch.
Yeah, the penalty's going to put them behind the chains here a little bit. 2nd and 12 to 13.
Richie Gillis, the quarterback, 52 of 92 in the season. That's 57%, and he's going deep, and nobody's there. Penalty marker down as 2 players, 1 for each side, were down on the ground at about the 50. There you see Malik Cameron, number 7 for La Follette, pleading his case, but that usually means it's going to go against La Follette.
Yeah, it was. I think they're going to talk about it, but it looks like La Follette has made a commitment. They're going to put Malik Cameron on Cooper Nelson because he shadowed him on the previous play on the motion.
And it will be interference against La Follette.
This is different. The high school rule is once the ball's in the air, you cannot collision the receiver. There's no such thing as an uncatchable pass in the high school rule. If there's contact made while the ball's in the air, that's pass interference, and that's a big 15 yards.
There's Cooper Nelson, who got a Division I scholarship offer this week from Western Illinois as his recruiting process continues.
Big kid at 6'5", 180 pounds.
And I think from La Follette's point of view, they thought the legs tangled.
Yeah. Anyway, it's 1st and 10, Sun Prairie at the 44, and another whistle before the snap, and this again will go against Sun Prairie, 1st and 15.
See, one of the things with the wind being this heavy, communication can be really difficult. And again, deciphering the words of the quarterback, they have to really shout it out tonight, and even signals from sideline and stuff. The wind plays a big factor in communication.
Wind is blowing into your face as you watch on your computer screen or TV. It's a crosswind, and it's a lot more than the Weather Bureau told Jay.
1st and 15, and boy, look at that stop by the La Follette defense. Coming out of there is Tavion Wells, number 22, as he lays the big hit on Nathan Schauer out of the backfield.
Schauer ran for 3 touchdowns last week, as Alan referred to in the open. He had a good night, career high in touchdowns and in rushing yards. Ran for 150 yards and 22 carries.
Loss of 1 by Schauer. It's now 2nd and 16, Sun Prairie. Here's Gillis. Now at the last, he throws it, and Ari Davis is wide open, but didn't catch the ball. Incomplete.
I mean, he was pretty close to the line of scrimmage when he threw the ball.
Yeah, and this is one of those new type of RPOs, run pass options, where, and last week we saw it for the first time where he ran some of these keeps on the options, but he can still throw it downfield as long as he has not crossed the line of scrimmage.
There's no flag, but
right.
I
think we might have had an inadvertent whistle.
Well, Davis clearly dropped the ball. Davis has 12
catches. Well, there is a flag there on the far side of the field.
On the far side, yep. But away from the play, and it was going to go against Sun Prairie, but it's declined. And it looks like it's going to be 3rd and 16 for La Follette.
And again, he can, even though he's spread out, he can throw the ball backward once he crosses the line of scrimmage.
Okay, Cardinals with it, 3rd and 16 from the 38. Here's Gillis. He'll throw to the near side, incomplete. Looking for Ethan Ackley, and La Follette's defense holds, forcing a punt. Good start for the Lancers.
The Lancers played pretty well last week. Their coach Scott Swanson told us they held Craig to only 172 yards of total offense, as we indicated, all on the ground. But he said they played well. They just couldn't convert and give them good field position. And it fell 17-10 in what was a pretty Big 8 game. Craig currently in 2nd place at 4-1. La Follette now 3-2 and chasing the leaders.
So here's the Sun Prairie punt. high floater. And it'll stop at about the 28-yard line, and that's where Follette will get its first offensive possession of the night. They've used a couple of quarterbacks through the year. Ben Probst wears number 11. We figure that he'll be the starter tonight. And here he comes. Ben Probst, a 6'1", 185-pound junior. 33 of 63 on the season. That's 52% completion rate, 437 yards, 7 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions. Jalen Brown is the running back, and they're going to go deep and overshoots his receiver. That's Charlie Kunkel, who is their leading receiver with 15 catches. 2nd and 10 coming up from Addison LaFollette.
Yeah, LaFollette uses 2 tight ends and 2 wide receivers. So something you don't see a lot at the high school level, but again, it kind of spreads the Sun Prairie front out quite a bit.
Good look at Scott Swanson making the play call directly to his quarterback.
Scott Swanson, a 2002 graduate of LaFollette High School, took over from Mike Harris as head coach in 2014. Running play for the Lancers, doesn't get much of anything. That's Jalen Brown with his first carry of the night. It's going to be 3rd and long, LaFollette.
Great linebacker play. These linebackers for Sun Prairie are really good football players.
Certainly the strength of their defense. Rademacher and Ackley and Hakeem McCullers.
They had some great playmakers on defense last year with Marty Stry and Josh Dinga and Caden Compenin and Kalon Coleman and Caden White. They're all gone. Here's 3rd and long, a completion. Well, it looked like it was a completion, but Jaden Nix then couldn't latch onto it. Falls out of bounds, incomplete, 4th down.
You know, this big drop in temperature is kind of difficult for wide receivers also. I mean, they've been, like, even yesterday, practice was in about 80-degree weather. It was very hot throughout the week, the last couple weeks, and all of a sudden this temperature shift into the mid-50s is an adjustment.
Yep. Here's Ray Broughton. He is the punter. There you see Cooper Nelson is the single safety to receive it for Sun Prairie.
First time we've seen Nelson returning punts this year.
Wow, that snap. Broughton had to get out of his position to kick it away. Gets a pretty good roll. It'll get just short of midfield, but good position for Sun Prairie's offenses. They get it for the 2nd time tonight.
Short field for Sun Prairie, which has put a lot of points on the board this year. They're averaging 40 points a game and put 43 on Verona last week.
Early score out of Verona. Verona's up 7-0 over Memorial.
That's undefeated Memorial, of course.
Verona 3-2.
Gillis with Shower behind him. Faked a Shower. Little crossing pattern to Cooper Nelson, and that's complete. Malik Cameron tackles him, but not before Nelson gets a 1st down for Sun Prairie.
You know, I don't know if people will be able to see this shot, but you get a really good example of this RPO. You have a running play called that had really good and with a quick slant. The big key is the lineman not getting downfield before the ball comes out.
11 yards on that one. Now they're going for the home run, and it's a completion. It's a touchdown for Sun Prairie. That's Cooper Nelson, a 38-yard score, 7-0 Cardinals.
That was a beautiful ball thrown in there by Gillis. Oh.
But a penalty marker is down.
Back, yeah.
Hold the phone.
The lineman downfield. I was just thinking on the previous play, Scott Swanson had to be yelling at the officials, the linemen are downfield, the linemen are downfield. And, you know, personally, I thought this one got out quick enough that the linemen weren't, but I guess now you see on the replay, they are downfield.
52.
And that's the one thing is that you when you go against a team that has these RPOs, you have to make the officials keep the linemen from going downfield. And Coach Kaminsky is not very happy with that call.
So take the 6 off the board.
That negates a beautiful throw, though.
There was a hilarious comment they were asking Pat Fitzgerald about RPOs. He says it's like communism. And that these RPOs it's just like totally unfair, and they asked him if he's going to use them. Well, until they start calling linemen downfield, we're going to use them.
Well, yeah. Okay, this is 1st and 20 for Sun Prairie. Shower takes a tackler with him, finally dragged down by Jalen Walls for La Follette.
Yeah, now, again, you should be able to see La Follette on certain downs is running the safety right down in there. So if you can watch 22 for La Follette, Tavian Wells has jumped right down in the box very quickly, but now with long yardage, he's going to stay back and try to help.
Gillis, just overshot his receiver. A diving attempt there by Ethan Ackley. Incomplete. It's going to be 3rd and 15 for Sun Prairie.
Ackley's the tight end, plays both ways. Good linebacker, as we told you. He's also caught 5 balls for 88 yards and 3 touchdowns this year.
You know, another thing that was interesting, we have an academic all-state, and Ackley's on that list, along with Nathan Byler, Richard Gillis, Kyle Krantz, and Connor Shanahan from Sun Prairie.
3rd and 15 from the 42. And that pass is deflected by Gary Barnes, the defensive end. So for the second time, the La Follette defense stops Sun Prairie, and let's see if the Cardinals are going to kick it or perhaps in plus territory go for it on 4th and 15.
Barnes was a second-team All-Big 8 lineman last year. He got his big paw up in front of that one, and it will set up a decision for Coach Kaminsky, who apparently is going to punt the football.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's the smart thing to do here, try and pin them deep. It seemed like La Follette had a difficult time punting the ball out last time.
This is Connor Shanahan. He'll kick it away right near midfield. This is a line drive end over end. It'll bound to the 10 and down at the 9, and that's where La Follette gets it for the second time tonight.
Shanahan's averaged about 34 yards per punt this year, and that's about what he did right there.
Yeah, and it's very difficult to use that rugby-style punt where he's kind of on the run and he's trying to pin it into the corner. So it's very difficult to return that ball unless it's miskicked. And again, he usually tries to get it so it's kind of rolling. So you get a very little chance of a return on those as well.
No score. We have 7:54 left in our first quarter. Probst is the quarterback. Jalen Brown the running back. Here's Probst. Wide open is Charlie Kunkel. He'll make the catch, try to make a move. He'll be dragged down by Dominic Landfear. And that's a good first down reception for La Follette, and it's going to be second down and about 1.5 yards.
They're just marking him a little bit short. And again, Sun Prairie's kind of a high pressure 8-man front. You're going to see the corners kind of playing off, making sure the ball stays in front with a deep safety, and a lot of activity in that front 8.
Kunkel Jr. has had a good year. That was his 16th catch. He's over 200 yards and scored 3 touchdowns.
Good size, 6'2", 175, Charlie Kunkel. 2nd and 2 for La Follette. Brown, boy, look at him explode, and look at Jalen Brown into the secondary. Brown gets it to the Sun Prairie 35-yard line. Boy, what an explosive play by running back Jalen Brown.
Yeah, he popped that one right through there. And again, like I said, the double tight look widens out the defense, and they were able to trap up in there. And the splits of the line spread the front out enough that they couldn't close from way down.
Dominic Landfear is one of those that saved a touchdown. As Brown, a junior, with a chance to play because the big guy is out tonight with a long run. He's just 5'7", 170.
Here's another completion to Charlie Kunkel as La Follette's on the move here midway through the first period.
Yeah, just a quick, easy access throw, quick hitch to the outside. So that's twice he's hit Kunkel on a quick hitch, and then mix and run game up inside.
And that's a 10-yard gain, so another first down for Madison La Follette. Lancers trying to get some early momentum here. Well, through the years, La Follette has given Sun Prairie its share of fits. Here's Brown again. He'll fall forward to the 20.
Yeah, good solid run. Just a quick hitter right up into that offensive line.
And Rademacher on the tackle. He is their leading tackler for Sun Prairie on the season with 34 coming in. Last year, La Follette was 4-5 in the Big Eight. They won their first 3 games of the season. Injuries hit. They lost 6 of their next 7, but made the playoffs for a 5th straight season. That's the longest streak in school history. Looking for 6 in a row this year. Here's to the end zone to Kunkel, and he runs out of room, incomplete.
It was a good situation to take a shot. They had a really good run on first down, and so now I'm guessing Coach Swanson's looking at this as 2-down territory. And he's got two downs to get the 5 yards.
Probst is their kicker. He's yet to kick a field goal this year, so it would appear in 4-down territory.
This drive started way back at the La Follette 9-yard line after a Sun Prairie punt. And we're going to have a La Follette timeout. So 5:41 remaining in the first period, first quarter. 3rd and 5 for La Follette coming up the 20-yard line, still looking for our first score of the night. We mentioned that Kavion James Ragland, who was the leading returning rusher in the Big Eight from last year, this season 60 carries, 387 yards, 6.5 yards per attempt, and he's such a force on defense too. That's where Scott Swanson told us that that's really where he'd have his impact. How tough is it, Alan, when you find out that your top player is not going to play?
Well, obviously, especially when you have so much of your game plan built around him, it would appear that they had all week to prepare. I think most of it is convincing the kids that to have confidence in the other kids, and watching Jalen Brown pop that run.
Yeah.
That's a big confidence builder for the rest of the crew.
Sure.
He's going to be fine.
There you see the Sun Prairie schedule, by the way, this year. They lost that first week 32-26 to Memorial, but well, those scores after that, they've been impressive.
Yeah.
Okay, out of the timeout again, 3rd and 5 from the 20. Probst with Jalen Brown to his left. Wide open. This time Nix latches on and completes, and that's going to be a first down for La Follette.
Now they're just throwing stop routes in front of the corners. And again, the splits of the La Follette line make it very difficult for edge rushers to get there in time. Very impressive with Probst there's a backer or a D lineman kind of coming in his face, but he's got enough time to get rid of it.
Jaden Nix was an honorable mention all-conference receiver a year ago. That was his 12th catch this year for 110 yards and a touchdown.
Now they split 2 receivers way to the right. They'll hand it off to Brown on the inside. He'll fall forward close to the 10.
And again, they're just trying to reduce numbers in the box, so they're going to spread, had double-stacked receivers, and so forcing Sun Prairie to take 4 people out with them.
La Follette's trying to go 91 yards on this drive for the first score of the night.
And eat clock.
Yeah, you want to keep the ball away from that high-octane
Yeah, no, you
Sun
do.
Prairie
I mean,
offense.
it's obvious Cooper Nelson's going to be a very difficult matchup for them. And so the more that they can keep it in their hands, the less chance Cooper has.
Here's Probst. He's looking right. The rush is on. He's out of the pocket. Throws. Can't get enough on it. Incomplete. He was looking for Jaheim Ingram, their tight end. Incomplete.
I think Probst has been watching a lot of NFL quarterbacking because he's looking for that roughing the quarterback play. On Sundays, that's a severe offense these days.
Goodness. Well, you don't know what it is, really.
No, and I think Sun Prairie was pretty fortunate they didn't get a penalty there because the ball was clearly out of his hand and he kind of ragdolled him a little bit there. third and long.
Ingram's been Mr. Red Zone, though. He's only got 3 catches this year, but 2 of them have gone for a touchdown.
Right. 3rd and 6 from the 10. They need to get just inside the 5 for a first down. And that's a complete pass, and I think he's stretched across for the first down. Andrew Rakovich, a 6'1 junior, kind of broke a bit of a tackle, and I think he extended far enough. Let's see.
Now we're waiting for, they're calling the chains to back out of there. It's 1st and goal. But again, Probst had a guy flying right in his face. He's staring down the gun barrel and delivering the ball right on the money.
6th catch of the year for Rakovich.
That's the first down stretch. 1st and goal, 3-yard line for La Follette. Now they bring Rakovich in to block. Here's Brown, the ball carrier. He'll fall to the 1. Gain of 2.
Yeah, he had I don't know if you get to see the replay, but he made an incredible little jump cut right in there to find a little sliver of room.
So the Lancers, boy, just feel like they need to finish this drive off with a touchdown. Still very early, clock running, 3:35 left first quarter.
It would make a statement, however, they could score.
Yeah, and it gets a little harder to have big line splits down this close because Sun Prairie's going to sell out.
This time the quarterback keeps it. Probst, I think he came just short. Yep, he'll be about the half-yard line. And a 3rd and goal is going to be coming up for the Lancers.
And here's another thing that, when the teams that have gone to these pistol and shotgun exclusively offense make it a little difficult in this type of situation inside the 2 or 3 yard line because they're not used to the old get under the center and go in for the quarterback sneak.
Okay, La Follette's beefing up the right side with Ingram and Rakovich. 84-8 on the right side. Here's Brown, the running back. Well, Probst thought he got in, but he didn't.
4th down.
Yeah, Probst was being a little presumptuous there. And
he's trying to sell it.
Yeah, Sun Prairie defense is not so fast, and our first big play of the game occurs in the first quarter.
No sign of a field goal unit, that's for sure.
Again, Sun Prairie is selling out and sending the house here. And like I said, with large line splits, it's going to be very difficult to pound it in between the tackles.
Dan Hawk with a big play defensively there, number 80.
I think we're going to see another timeout.
And there it is. With 1:54 left in the quarter. It'll be 4th and 1 coming up.
Other games tonight in the Big 8, Middleton 3-2 is at winless Janesville Parker, Boyd Memorial, and Madison West playing in Mansfield Stadium in a battle of 1-4 teams. Craig is at East. Craig's 4-1 East, 1-4, and Al gave you the update on Memorial at Verona. Memorial down 7-0. They're 5-0. Verona 3-2. That's how La Follette got to where they are. Still very much in the Big 8 race. Certainly thinking about a playoff spot. They probably need to win 2 more games to be definitely in, but
2 to clinch, right? Yeah. But realistically, 4 and 5 has gotten in for the last 3 years probably, and but they've got a tough road to hoe. They got 3 tough customers. 3 out of these last 4 are traditionally Big 8 powers,
and all in the first division right now. Verona, Middleton coming up.
So, Coach Minard, do you surprise them with a little play-action toss somewhere, or do you try and bang it in?
You can. The problem, again, Sun Prairie is going to send these 8 guys. I wouldn't. They're still bunched. They're flying one across.
Right up the middle they go, and into the end zone. Touchdown, La Follette.
He didn't make it by much.
Looked like that was Jaden Nix. Yeah, he got a burst of speed, and he got across the goal line, and it's 6-0 La Follette. Nope, that was Brown. That was Brown. Yep.
But they were, if you look, they just pounded right down inside everybody, down block. They had the bonus fullback, and the edge player is responsible for contain, so he couldn't close down enough, and he had just enough push from the O-line to get him in.
So 6-0 La Follette. They score late in the first quarter. Ben Probst, the quarterback, in to kick the extra point out of the hold of Jaden Nix. High snap, and that one was blown up from the start. So the extra point, no good. It stays 6-0 La Follette. But the Lancers have to be feeling pretty good about the way this first quarter.
That was a great drive, a nice little mix of run and quick passing game.
He put the ball down in the,
Yeah,
that was the old
was,
Lucy play.
yeah.
The kicker took off because he saw the high snap. That was a 91-yard drive.
Yeah, that was beautiful. A big run that was popped, a few quick passes, and then just some good tough yards.
I got to assume that timeout might have been as much for a motivational speech to the line as it was for the play call.
A lot of times it's just communicating to make sure that everybody understands what they're doing because of the blitzing. And Sun Prairie plays a defensive front that changes a lot of the blocking rules, that 35 stack or 33 stack. A lot of people call it different things, but those linebackers can come from anywhere. And so it changes a lot of your blocking rules. And so I think they just wanted to communicate with the O-lineman what everybody was doing.
Robert Shively again to kick it off for La Follette. Pretty good boot here. Taking it about the 24-yard line. A pretty good return. And they still can't get him down. For Sun Prairie, that's Jacob Powley again. And he gets it just short of midfield.
Yeah, a lot of yards after contact. He just put his shoulders down and moved the pile. Great speed.
So the third possession of the night offensively for Sun Prairie. The Cardinals have nothing to show for it yet. There's Powley who had that nice kick return for Sun Prairie.
They've been their own worst enemy, though, with 3 penalties in their first 2 drives.
One that brought a touchdown pass back.
Yeah.
Okay, Gillis back at the helm. Hands off to Shower. Shower breaks it back. Shower getting blocking. Shower to the 20. And finally taken down. That's a big run for Nathan Shower, who scored 3 touchdowns at Verona last week.
Yeah, again, on those RPOs that we saw on that first possession, the runs were there.
Shower's a junior and has progressed as the season's come along.
The quarterback Gillis was out front, laying a block or two. At the 14-yard line, that pass incomplete, 2nd and 10.
Sun Prairie lost their top 6 rushers from a year ago. I mean, if you recall, they got the state behind Raven Peoples, one of really a mega bunch of stars. But somebody had to step up as a running back, and Shower has assumed that role, and we've seen him the last 2 weeks. He's looked pretty good.
He's looked very good. Like I said, very decisive on his cuts. That last run was a really great cutback.
2nd and 10 at the 14 for Sun Prairie. Penalty marker against Sun Prairie.
Yep, not sure who moved, but again, one of the things to watch is La Follette is kind of guessing a little bit when it's run, or they've got some type of a tip on a run, and the safety Wells is coming down, and I think some people were a little nervous about him jumping down in that box where they were attacking.
These flags are driving Coach Kaminsky nuts.
Yeah, they are.
Week 6, you wouldn't expect as much of that. Here's Gillis to Ackley. Turns it upfield, gets down to the 10. It's going to be 3rd down for Sun Prairie.
You know, we've seen a lot of good football players, but I don't know if we've seen many two-way dudes like Mr. Ackley. Super impressive young man. Like I mentioned, he's a 3.8 plus student. Great linebacker and an outstanding receiver fullback. H-back kind of guy.
3rd and 6. Gillis keeps it. Gillis falls forward. Let's see. Did he get in? Touchdown, Sun Prairie. Looked like his knee might have just hit before, but nope, he stretched it across. And we're all even 6-6 with the extra point pending for Sun Prairie.
That didn't take long.
No.
A little quarterback run off of the action. We saw him open up and run a little more last week. I know he surprised Verona with his quarterback running. And so they've continued it this week.
1:06 to be exact. That's how long it took them. And they can take the lead now if Shanahan can convert these 25 and 27 on extra points this year.
Prairie's had a great run of great place kickers, and Shanahan is the latest in that lineage. And he booms it through, and Sun Prairie has the lead. 7-6 Cardinals on the touchdown run by Richie Gillis. Another look at Gillis, who faked it to Shower, who you figure could be a factor down near the goal line, but Gillis took it in.
Yep. Quarterback counter, and then again the missed extra point by La Follette looms large right now.
Well, Shower scored 3 touchdowns last week. Gillis had a couple of scores on plays very similar to that, too.
And he hadn't been a running quarterback in the first 4 games, but he showed a dimension to his game not previously seen against Verona.
No, and even last week he had kind of like wide open stuff there. He had to run through a tackle to get into the end zone, so it's not like he's shy and he's just going to try to avoid contact. So there are going to be some little adjustments that need to be made for La Follette.
In the Badger Conference tonight, Milton's at Watertown. Stoughton 3-0 is at Oregon. It's 2-1. That's a good game. Edgewood and Fort Atkinson both looking for a win. Play at Fort. Monroe's at Winona Grove. MG's unbeaten. Monroe's winless. Beaver Dam and Portage both winless, playing in Portage. Wanakee's at Sauk. Baraboo's at DeForest. They're both 2-1, as are Mount Horeb and Reedsburg are playing at Reedsburg. All 4 of those teams chasing unbeaten Wanakee.
In Verona, Memorial just fumbled a punt in the second quarter. Verona recovered at the Spartans' 19-yard line. So the leaders in the Big 8 trailing 7-0, and now they're trying to prevent a red zone score off a turnover by Verona. Here's the kick. This will be returned by Madison La Follette. That's Broughton. And he gets it out to the 20.
Yeah, great kick coverage, and that was a high kick that had a lot of hang time on it, which allowed the team to get, if it goes into the end zone, they get it at the 20. They almost had him pinned inside the 20. Ends up being a wash right at the 20.
Okay, let's see if the Lancers can go on another long scoring drive. They took it 91 yards on their last trip, capped off by a Jalen Brown 1-yard touchdown run.
Just had another score, Verona, 14-0.
Oh, boy.
They just punched it in.
Here's Probst going deep for Kunkel. Lots of contact, and here come the penalty markers.
I'm pretty sure that's going to be interference against Sun Prairie.
Dominic Lanfear on coverage. The two 19s going at each other, and yeah, there was some pretty good contact there.
Significant contact.
Significant contact. That's a good way to put it.
So again, a little chess match, 2 hitches in front of him, and then a go route on him.
Oh, yeah.
That's the 5th penalty in 11 and a half minutes for Sun Prairie.
So much for home cooking, huh, Rolf?
Spoken like a coach.
At the 35-yard line, here's Probst. Now the receiver kept going downfield, and the ball was thrown short. That's incomplete. You may have seen the number 138 on the field, especially on that last snap. That is the badge number of Corey Barr, the Sun Prairie firefighter who died in that tragic explosion back in July.
Certainly, everybody appreciates first responders here, and that message is brought home again this week. Dane County with the incident in Middleton.
Well, I'll tell you, downtown is recovering nicely, too, from the explosion. We had a chance to drive by it. The word is that could be back up and running maybe by November. Here's 2nd and 10. That pass too high, incomplete, looking for Rakovic.
Oh, it's kind of funny. Follette had their version of the RPO going there. They had a nice run play, I think, if he gave it. But the one thing I found with RPOs, those quarterbacks tend to like to throw it way more than give it.
more P than anything.
Yeah.
Right? Scott Swanson getting the call to Ben Probst.
Those high school quarterbacks think they can complete them all.
When in fact they cannot.
Well, on occasion. So now they're in 3rd and long here.
Only 30 seconds left in the first quarter. Probst.
Ooh, yep, we got the interference call.
Jaden Nix was defended by Jamel Stone, and they're going to get the Sun Prairie defender for another penalty.
Yeah, he just, just at the last second, hit him just before the ball got there.
So another costly penalty on 3rd and 10 for Sun Prairie.
And unlike college and pros where it's a spot foul, this will be 15 yards from the previous spot.
That's the only yardage Follette has had in this march. They've gone 30 yards and on account of 2 15-yard infractions.
25 seconds left first quarter. 7-6 Sun Prairie. But the Lancers have it at midfield. Penalty marker down as Brown goes nowhere. In fact, he loses a couple. But again, another penalty marker down in the Follette backfield.
On that first drive, Follette had a lot of quick passes. Now you see the adjustment by Sun Prairie that they're getting right up in their face and pressing them, which is one of the reasons for the longer passes now. Now they just have to stop doing the interference and then adjust accordingly.
So it's a false start, so there's no play actually. So ball is back at the 46-yard line. Or did they decline it?
I think they declined it.
Yeah, that would make sense because it'd be 5 yards, obviously, for a false start. So, yeah, 2nd and 14 is the down and distance. So they'll get Brown for a 4-yard loss.
See, one of the things that you're seeing here is Coach Swanson is trying to shorten the game as best he can. He's waiting for them to wind the clock. He's going to take it to the end of the quarter.
And that will do it for our first quarter. Sun Prairie leading Follette 7-6. We'll be back with the start of the second quarter in just a few moments. You're watching the Prep Mania Game of the Week on TBW and channel3000.com. A missed extra point is the difference. Sun Prairie leads Madison Follette 7-6. We start the second quarter. Lancers with the football. They're at their own 46. It's 2nd and 14. Pass incomplete. Intended for Ingram. Knocked out of his hands. It'll be 3rd and 14.
Yeah, they went back to the quick passing game there, try to get about half of it, but 3rd and 15 is not where Follette wants to be here.
Unless they can coax another interference penalty.
Right. Yeah, they've had their problems getting the offense going, although they did have that impressive drive. But outside of the penalties, it's been tough to move it much on this Sun Prairie defense. Probst looking at a 3rd and 14.
Little empty formation here.
Here comes the blitz. He gets rid of it quickly, and no receiver in the area. Incomplete. 4th down.
I think he was expecting Ingram to go long, and he checked out, and obviously.
Right, and it looked like Sun Prairie had a free rusher coming, and that's kind of the danger of the empty formation. Is very difficult to get any help in the protection. It's just the front 5 guys, and he's going to take a lot of punishment if they don't get a little help in there.
Ray Broughton in to punt it away for La Follette.
And be aware Broughton is a quarterback.
Penalty marker down. That's going to be movement against La Follette. So that'll make it 4th and 19.
That is actually the 10th time a flag has been on the field in the first 13 minutes. 2 of them were not accepted, but that is a lot of penalties in a short period of time in the 6th week of a season.
Unacceptable from the coach's point of view.
Right.
Yeah.
Cooper Nelson is deep to receive the punt. Another end-over-ender. Here's Nelson. He'll head right. He'll head up the seam. He'll break a tackle and finally drag down. On coverage is Henry Tice, but not before Cooper Nelson gets Sun Prairie set up in La Follette territory.
And this is a dangerous part of the rugby punt. They're trying to punt it to their own sideline, but he miskicked it enough that Cooper Nelson could bring it to his sideline. And that came very close to being a big punt return for a touchdown.
Well, they'll mark it just short of midfield at the 49. A good field position to start for Sun Prairie. There's the quarterback Gillis breaking a tackle and finally taken down by 3 La Follette defenders, but not before he gets to the 40, and it's a 1st down for Sun Prairie.
That was actually the same play that they got the touchdown on before. That time the defensive end for La Follette, number 55 Barnes, was right there, but he juked him and got around him.
Sun Prairie on the move at the 40. Up 7-6. Gillis. Incomplete.
I missed an open crossing receiver there.
Ari Davis was the intended target. 2nd and 10.
Davis caught 6 balls for 100 yards last week. Moved him up to 12 catches on the year.
Yeah, he was good last week. He made some explosive plays.
It's interesting, last week Dave Richardson double-teamed Nelson. He was such a dynamic player. After the game, Coach Kaminsky said Sun Prairie took advantage of that by putting 2 receivers, including Davis, on the other side of the field. He thought that spread the field and allowed the running back to have the big night because they were playing 8 against 7. And
right.
Tonight, so far, Coach Swanson has tried to just put Cameron on Cooper Nelson, and it's a whole lot of different defensive strategy.
Right, with minimal help. And so part of it is, what can your other kids do, with that type of thing. And I thought that, Sun Prairie's offensive staff did a really good job of managing all of that to still get Cooper his touches, even though they were committing extra defenders to him.
Yeah, he caught 7 balls last week, so it's not like he had an off night.
No, and that's where they put him in the backfield some and motioned him out.
He even threw a pass.
Yeah.
This is a Sun Prairie timeout, by the way. Here's Cooper.
Yeah, there was kind of a shuttle with the wide receivers, not sure who was supposed to be in. And here's another thing they do now. They put Cooper in the slot instead of an outside receiver.
That was the motion man Lanphier who gets the little swing pass, and he's taken down by Barnes. But a decent gain on 2nd down for Sun Prairie. It's going to be 3rd and short.
And that's, again, one of those little subtle things that as a if they're the widest receiver, sometimes it's easier to double them than if they're in the slot, or it changes the rules. It isn't as much as what you can control and know, as much as making sure your players know how to defend it when he's in those different positions.
This is 3rd and 3, ball at the La Follette 33-yard line. Here's Davis. Cuts back, and he will be taken down right about the line of scrimmage. So big play by the La Follette defense on 3rd and 3.
Yeah, great rally by the defense there. And he didn't see anything real clean, and the old saying is, he who hesitates is lost.
In life and in football.
Yes.
Yeah. Middleton has taken a 24-0 lead at Janesville. Parker will see the Cardinals at home next week when Janesville Craig visits, and that's shaping up to be a pretty good battle. Janesville Craig off to a great start at 4-1, tied with Sun Prairie for second place in the Big 8. That's next week on our game of the week. 4th and 3, and Sun Prairie looks like they're going to go for it. Cooper Nelson gets it and falls forward to the 21st down, Sun Prairie.
Yeah, and basically beat double coverage. The safety came over and whacked him right as the ball got there, but Cooper does a great job of shielding the ball with his body, extending the hands to make the catch instead of waiting for it to get into his body. I think Cooper's going to get more offers than Western Illinois.
Yeah, patience can be a virtue there, I think. This is Davis on the reception. And right there is Charlie Kunkel to make the tackle.
And again, some Prairies, can really put people in a tough bind where you have Cooper Nelson isolated down over here. You have Ackley in the backfield. It's also a good receiver as a lead blocker with Shower. And then they can put two very solid high school receivers away from Nelson.
That was actually Dominic Lanfear on that last reception for 5 yards, 2nd and 5. Now they'll give it to Shower. He finds an opening. Shower up the middle. Touchdown, Sun Prairie. 15-yard score by Nathan Shower, and the Cardinals extend their lead to 13-6.
Yeah, the O-line just kind of washed that front right out of there. Great run, great cut.
4th touchdown in the last 2 weeks for the junior running back. His 7th score of the year. And you can see why La Follette wants to play keep away from that Sun Prairie offense.
Yeah.
They're a handful because, again, Gillis has gotten very efficient with throwing the football.
Extra point by Shanahan is good. 14-6, Sun Prairie.
And the other thing is their kicking game is really solid, too.
You saw that last week. Shanahan with 3 field goals last week. Here's the latest touchdown run by Shower.
There's Big Ben Johnson, 66, helping to clear an opening. And Shower, boy, he was almost untouched.
Yeah, Brof, you might have been able to get in on that one. That was pretty good blocking by that old
That
line.
was a credit to Johnson if I could get in.
Last week, Eau Claire Memorial quarterback Bryson Johnson tied the state record with 8 touchdown passes in a 67-65 loss to Chippewa Falls in 2 overtimes. That tied the state record of 8 touchdown passes by Dylan Fagerlin from Watertown, Tyler Hack from Deerfield, and Matt Ferris, the former Badger basketball player from Xavier. 8 touchdowns and you don't win, huh?
That's pretty hard to fathom, but you're seeing higher and higher scores as you get these no-huddle offenses amped up a little bit.
Yeah, there were like double-digit teams that scored 50 or more points last week.
Well, we've had 3 touchdown runs in our game tonight. 2 by Sun Prairie, 1 by La Follette. Lancers had a 6-0 lead, but Sun Prairie has responded with 2 scores of their own, 14-6. As Shanahan gets ready to boot it away. He nailed this one. This is going to go into the end zone and through it. Well, not quite. It'll stop at the back of the end zone, and that's going to be a touchback, 1st and 10 for La Follette at the 20.
We're hitting a crucial point here now. It's really important for La Follette to answer, or at least get really good field position or regain some field position. Again, the kicking game is such a big factor. You think about after La Follette scored, the kickoff gets returned out to the 50. You know, that's some really big-time hidden yardage. You know, your analytics show that when you start this deep, it is way more difficult to score.
Middleton's up 31-0 at Janesville Parker now. And a new quarterback.
This is Broughton, I think.
Yep.
And they've alternated all year.
Yep.
And illegal procedure.
Guess what? Yeah, penalty.
No, and again, the wind really makes it difficult from a communication standpoint. And to be honest, there haven't been many windy days for practice either.
Jalen Brown continues to be the running back. He gets this handoff and barely gets back to the line of scrimmage.
And again, you get to see now some of the adjustments that the Sun Prairie defense is making. They started off giving pretty big cushion on the outside receivers. Then they were pressing up. Now they're acting like they're pressed and they're bailing, backing out.
Terrence Briggs, 64, made that last stop. He's a big guy, 6'1", 225.
You know, the other thing we talk about adjustments, there's a video on the sideline down here. Maybe we can get a shot of later.
Broughton going deep. Man had a step, but then nice recovery by Lanfear to knock it away from the intended receiver, Charlie Kunkel.
You know, and this is, you know, one of the biggest changes in high school football over the last 5 years is the technology that some schools are able to have on the sideline. So right down here in front of us, you got the O-line watching.
Yeah, about the 30-yard line.
Watching
the left 30.
The defense, you know exactly where they're lined up.
Yeah,
you know, typically have iPads on the sideline and that type of thing.
Yeah, they're playing video on a big TV set, and the offensive line's taking a look.
And what's odd is, you know, that is illegal in the NFL and in the NCAA, but we have it at the high school.
There you go. 3 receivers split to the left for Madison La Follette. And timeout, Sun Prairie.
But to be honest, it is also kind of a difference within the Big Eight of sort of haves and have-nots. You have a suburban school that have resources, whereas, you know, the Madison schools, whatever one school has, the other school has to have from a funding standpoint.
I don't know, Wes, we can get a shot at the 30. It looks like we used to sit around the TV and watch I Love Lucy. Now they're watching their offensive line play here. There's, 2, 4, 5, 6 of them around the TV. They're around a large monitor, and coaches going over what La Follette's trying to do. I've never seen that.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen the iPads used
right.
a lot this year.
You know, it was real common to have iPads. They got a full-blown TV, and I don't know if they have lounge chairs down there. Probably not.
Well, I can't get a much better teaching tool than that, though, can
No,
you?
it is to have that immediate feedback, and so like I said, it's probably the biggest advance.
Can you get a shot at the 30?
Here's
the
3rd and
TV
15.
screen? It is.
Broughton flush. Look, he's in big trouble in the end zone. Now he escapes. He's going to fling it deep. He has a man open, and it's caught.
Yeah, they're going to rule it a catch right in front of the sideline there.
That's Ingram with a huge play for La Follette. Boy, Broughton was in trouble in the end zone, but once he escaped, he found a lane and got it deep.
As far as he could throw it.
No, you can see why he wants to play both quarterbacks because, you know, Probst did a great job in the first quarter, but, you know, the athleticism here, you know, by Ingram was pretty impressive.
Broughton's a senior, 11 of 18 coming in for 147 yards and 2 touchdowns.
That one good for 33. All the way out to the 48. 48 of Sun Prairie. This is
And again-
Brown, who had the other big bust-out play for La Follette tonight.
Yeah, the adjustments being made with that front 6 to 8 there, as they're really pinching down on that running play. It's the same running play that Brown had hit for about 30-some yards early in on that first drive.
La Follette loved to eat up some clock and get a score here, and going to halftime feeling pretty good about things. But they've got to move it against that stout Sun Prairie defense. 2nd and 11 from the 49. Broughton fumbled his snap and falls on it, but that's going to be a big loss. That hurts.
Yep. 3rd and a really long way to go.
And that is not a good spot to be in at all. 3rd and 19 back at the 43.
Yeah, that falls out of the designated play sheet. Usually only goes up to about 3rd and 15.
Well, we've seen Broughton throw it as far as he can.
Yeah,
That
he
works,
can. He
right?
can throw it that far.
La Follette has not been a big strike team, though, this year. They've only averaged 21 a game. Of course, they usually have KB and James Ragland as their running threat,
Right.
too.
There's Broughton out of the pocket. He's going to run this one and got some yards back, but not nearly enough. It's going to be about 10 yards short of a first down.
So what do you
He
do
got
here,
half of
Coach?
it. Yeah, he got half of it. You got to punt the ball down deep. Well, I would think that was like kind of a gift, 10 yards from the standpoint there was a 3-man rush, 8 in coverage. So unless you had that magical trick play in your back pocket for right now, and if you didn't make it, you're giving them great field position. So the hope here would be to punt it deep.
And Broughton is back to punt it, and the snap goes over his head, and he's chasing it. It's back at the 20. Let's see if he can still get it away. He's thinking about throwing it, I think. Throws it, complete. Well, look at this. Oh, Brown stayed on his feet, and he had thoughts of still getting that first down. So what could have been a real disaster turns into a mini disaster, I guess you'd say, as Brown got a gain of about 5 on the play, but it's going to be Sun Prairie's ball on down.
Quite a play by Broughton.
That was a great.
Look at this ball, isn't even close, way over the punter's head.
Back at the 21. Then he's thinking about throwing it.
Being a punter, test your improvisational skills.
Boom, he took a big hit. Bounced off him, and boy, look at that tackle.
It's like a Timex commercial. Took the licking and kept on ticking.
John Cameron Swayze sold the Timex watches.
We're showing our age here, boys.
Yeah, I
So
know.
the I Love Lucy and John Cameron Swayze reference within 5 minutes. We're losing the younger demographic.
They'll be back. Don't worry. 1st and 10, 43-yard line. Penalty marker down. Oh, boy, another motion against Sun Prairie. So that'll cost them 5.
At the same time, we have a responsibility to educate those younger folks of the historical perspective.
They're getting an education, all right, whether they know it or not.
Yeah, there you saw they had the Cooper Nelson in the backfield motion set. Now they're coming back out spread.
Still 5:22 left before halftime. Jim Rutledge, ESPN Wisconsin, will be along with us at halftime. Oh, there's a beautiful play. Wide open is Shower. He's down the far sidelines. He cuts it back. Finally taken down. And that's a big play as Gillis hits Shower. Eric Lumpkin finally tracked him down, but that's a first down for Sun Prairie.
And again, great play design. Fake, La Follette's basically playing man coverage. Fake the run, looked him off, sent him up the sideline. And again, it just worked out. That's probably one of those linebacker positions that Raglan also played.
Vince Laubmeyer actually made the tackle for La Follette. Now they're going to the end zone to Nelson. And incomplete. Boy, great coverage by Cameron there. Malik Cameron nearly came up with the interception, but it's knocked away. Second down.
And boy, if La Follette doesn't have quick strike capabilities, Sun Prairie sure does.
Yes, they do.
They almost went down the field in 2 plays after the holding La Follette on downs.
Another look at how close this came to being an interception. Nelson, he got a hand on it too. Now back we go. Here's the quick pass to Ari Davis. He'll get to the 10.
Yeah, he has a very explosive player also. Saw him struggle a little bit with his hands last week, but he got that one tucked away pretty good.
Gain of 9. It's going to be 3rd and 1 from the La Follette 10-yard line. Willis just keeps it and pushes forward. And that's going to be a first down for the Cardinals.
Yeah, this O-line for Sun Prairie really starting to assert themselves again.
They're down to the 5-yard line, trying to add another score and extend that lead. Waunakee's up 37-0. 2 minutes left first half. They continue to roll. High snap. They get it to Shower. Shower breaks the tackle. No, that's not Shower. That's 48. That's going to be a touchdown run by Jacob Hellenbrand, and Sun Prairie scores again.
Yeah, we saw Hellenbrand come in last week as a change of pace. Running back, only a sophomore, but he's a quick little guy, and he found the edge after motioning Nelson across the formation. And again, great job by the offensive staff of Sun Prairie, blending a lot of different plays out of different looks, and very impressed with what they're able to do.
Connor Shanahan trying another extra point. He's made his first 2 of the night. And now 20-6 Sun Prairie, and La Follette is in a big hole. Halftime, Verona leading Madison Memorial 14-0. Shanahan's extra point good, 21-6. Now, if this all holds up, the Sun Prairie Cardinals going to find themselves tied for first in the Big 8, but still another half to be played here at Ashley Field.
Second touchdown run of the year for Hellenbrand. Coming into the game 96 yards, as Alan said. Most of those came last week.
No, and again, the Sun Prairie O-line, Krakowski, 245. Zarolsi, 220. Barksdale, 220. Johnson, 305. Walker, 290. There's some big men up the front.
They're starting to push things around in favor of the Sun Prairie offense. 21-6 Cardinals. Well, if you're La Follette, now you really do need something to get you to halftime.
Yeah, you need a sustained march to keep the ball away from Sun Prairie and still put up some points.
Yeah, you don't want to go 3 and out and give Sun Prairie a chance to get one more on the board before half, that's for sure. This is Owen Konopacki to kick it away. He's a sophomore for Sun Prairie.
Put the last one in the end zone and see if he does it again going this direction. Be a little short maybe.
Yep. This one is returnable from the 4. This is Liddell Cannon for La Follette.
And not only does he get it deep, that one was really high, not quite as deep, but allowed them to pin down inside the 20 to the 15.
So La Follette has it with 3:38 left before halftime. They scored the first touchdown of the game, had a 6-0 lead, but it's been 21 straight by Sun Prairie.
Edgewood ahead of Fort Atkinson 20-0 at half.
Both those teams winless in the Badger.
Lancers started out with a running play. Up the middle goes Jalen Brown.
It was a quick inside hitter, almost popped it.
Brown listed at 5'7", 170.
He looks bigger than that,
He looks
doesn't he?
taller than 5'7".
Yeah, I think they've shorted him in the program.
Usually it goes the other way.
Monona Grove with a 35-7 lead over Monroe in the second quarter.
We'll see the Silver Eagles in a couple of weeks against Stoughton. That's going to be a big Badger South showdown match on the game of the week.
Kind of the intriguing game in the Badger South. I think we got Oregon playing Stoughton this week.
Yeah, right. And Oregon leads Stoughton 21-3 at half.
I had seen that Stoughton had a very close game against Monroe last week. And Oregon, I know, had some rough things happen to them early in the season. That they're a good football team, and they're going to have something to say about what happens in the Badger South as well.
Big game statewide. Kimberly, number 2 in Division I at Neenah. Number 4 in the state. Kimberly with a 17-0 win or lead at halftime.
2nd and 12 from the 14 for La Follette. Ben Probst, the starting quarterback, is back in there, and he throws incomplete. He was looking for Kunkel. It's 3rd down and 12 coming up for the Lancers with 2:44 left in the half.
No, and this is one of those, now you're 3rd and long. You really don't want to give Sun Prairie another possession. We're about 2:40 something on the clock. Unfortunately, the drop ball, now that stops the clock.
Here comes Probst with the play. This feels like the Lancers have to get her moving here as we're getting late into the play clock. In fact, the back judge is already doing his 5 count, and I don't think they're going to get it off in time, and they're not. That's a delay of game, or did they get the timeout?
They called timeout.
Okay.
That's their final timeout, however.
Yeah, they just seemed like they were a bit leisurely in there.
But this is a big play. He's going to burn a timeout. Is a good place to do it. Because, you don't have a good feeling if you're if you got to punt the ball back to Sun Prairie.
No, and again, you don't fault Sun Prairie. This is, kind of no matter what the score, it's put the pedal to the metal all the first half.
Seven teams from the Big 8 made the WIA football playoffs last season. Sun Prairie was the only Big 8 team to make it past level 3. The Follette suffered a level 1 loss to Middleton last year.
No, and that's one of the really frustrating parts from the Big 8 standpoint is they tend to create the pod of 8 where it includes typically 6. And even some years there's been 7 Big 8 teams in the 8-team pod.
Kind of a glorified conference tournament. There's a nice throw and a nice catch to Kunkel, and that's going to be enough for a first down. And they convert on 3rd and 12.
And that creates a double issue because the teams that get put into their grouping get very frustrated that, shocker, the Big 8 schools tend to have a little collusion with the seeding. And so the WA's heard from the Football Coaches Association and respective conferences that they would like them not to include so many teams from in the same grouping.
Here's Probst. He'll roll right. He'll set and throw, and incomplete. Lanphier knocked it away from Kunkel. Incomplete.
Great break on the ball by Lanphier. Ball and Lanphier got there at the same time. It was a really good throw by Probst.
Kunkel had his hands on it. But nothing doing for La Follette on that play. 2nd and 10 from the 29. 2:05 left in the half.
Now we'll really see what coach is thinking here, if he's going to run and try to get the half.
There's the run. But Ethan Ackley was there.
Now will Sun Prairie use a timeout to force their hand? Looks like they're going to let it go.
Well, they've burned some early timeouts too, so they really don't have a lot. They only got one left, so.
3rd and 11 from the 28, and the clock is rolling down to 1:40. Again, La Follette in no hurry with this play call.
I think you're running the ball here, don't you? Just a burn
Yeah,
clock?
if they're not using that timeout, I think I'm running the ball or else a safe rollout.
Like that. Probst. Intercepted. Or was it? Nope, incomplete. On the sideline. Dom Backus, the safety who had an interception, that clinching interception at Verona last week, almost had another off the deflection, but he was ruled out of bounds. You see the tip here.
Because he bobbled it by the time he got a hold of it. That was a really good call by the official. I don't know how.
Yeah.
Or a good guess, one of the two. We'll go with it was a good call.
Backus tried to jump back in bounds, but of course, by that time it was too late. So Broughton's back to punt.
Got 1:10 left.
Then hold your breath. We've seen a couple bad snaps on in special team situations for the Lancers tonight.
That one's not too bad. Broughton with a little knuckleball. It'll bounce out of bounds at about the 41, and that's where Sun Prairie gets it with 1:03 left in the half.
Again, they've got the firepower, for a quick strike. I got to believe they're going to really go for it here.
And they've got that strong-legged field goal kicker.
Halftime, Wanakee up on Sauk Prairie, 44-0. Beaver Dam leads Portage 14-8 at halftime, and Monona Grove now leading Monroe 42-7. Here's Gillis has a man complete. That's Ethan Ackley. That's a first down, Sun Prairie.
And the clock will stop while they set the chain, so Sun Prairie hurries up, gets the play. Should be ready to go.
Nice job by Gillis to just avoid the pressure enough.
Yeah, great movement in the pocket there.
Now here's Gillis again. Wants a little more this time. And nearly intercepted. The receiver tripped. That was Ari Davis. He and Kunkel got tied up inadvertently. And Kunkel almost made the interception. I think you'll see Davis on the ground right there. And that's a catch Kunkel makes more often than not.
See if that comes back to bite him. I can't tell you the number of times that teams get bitten by the dropped interception.
2nd and 10 are at the La Follette 47. Here's Gillis. Hit as he throws. And let's see, incomplete? Yes, incomplete.
Great defensive play by our corner there.
Boy, Gillis stuck right in there as the pressure was coming.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, Prather was the DB that broke it up. It's like a simultaneous possession. He ripped it out of there. Yeah, Gillis, again, got hit right as he threw it. Probably is what the hit at the throw probably prevented as much of the completion as any.
This is 3rd and 10 at the 47. Gillis, wow, that didn't fool anybody, and down he goes. Gary Barnes gets the quarterback in the backfield for a big loss.
Barnes had a big knockdown earlier in the game, and there he comes up with a sack to give any thoughts of a field goal.
Yeah, I wonder if this will be the last play of the half. La Follette cannot stop it. It's just whether Sun Prairie wants to. I think they're probably just going to go to half.
Down to 4 seconds, and yeah, the final seconds will run out, and that will do it for the first half. Jalen Brown scored to give La Follette a 6-0 lead, a minute 50 left in the first quarter, but then Richie Gillis an 11-yard run, Nathan Schauer a 15-yard run, Jacob Hillenbrand a 5-yard run. Those were the 3 touchdowns. Sun Prairie leading Madison La Follette, and look out, we've got a little skirmish here as the two teams are going to the locker room.
Yeah, well, you're looking at the highlights.
Penalty markers are flying.
Yeah, benches have come together in the end zone.
Well, we've got 4, 5, 6 penalty markers.
Every
down,
official has thrown a flag.
The two teams were going to their locker rooms and there was a little skirmish. So we'll get that all sorted out when we come back. But we're going back to our TBW studios for halftime. It's 21-6 Sun Prairie over Madison La Follette. We'll be back to Ashley Field for the start of the first quarter in a few moments. You're watching the Prep Mania Game of the Week on TBW and Channel3000.com. What was that, Wes? Oh, they haven't started the clock yet. Okay. Well, we will certainly have time to go into that. Okay, great. Thank you. Oh, yeah. That was our other option. Middleton, yeah. Craig at Middleton. Yeah. Apparently there was a Steve Harvey moment at West Allis tonight as the incorrect homecoming queen was announced. West Allis. It says Steve Harvey moment as the incorrect homecoming queen is announced. That hurts. Yes, I can. Loud and clear. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. That sounds good. Thanks, Craig. Bye-bye. Middleton was 3 minutes to us. I think it was 40. Here is, I just saw one. DeForest leads Baraboo 21-7 third quarter. Craig was 20-0 over East. Watertown 19, Milton nothing. Mike McCarthy at the Bayport game tonight. Marshall 12, New Glarus Monticello 7 at the Swamp. Yep. Stoughton 21-3, or Oregon 21-3. Middleton 40-0 over Parker. Oof. Yeah, that's true. One minute to us, 1 minute. Okay. $30. Welcome back to Ashley Field in Sun Prairie. We're getting close to the start of the third quarter. Here's what happened as the two teams went to their locker rooms at halftime. You see a whole bunch of penalty markers flying. There didn't seem to be a whole lot of pushing and shoving, but there certainly must have been some talking, and then a whole bunch of penalties flew. And it'll be interesting to see if everyone can decipher, were there penalties, were there some ejections perhaps, but
yeah, we'll wait until the officials come out. So the teams have not come out yet, which tells me the officials had to sort through a lot of this. And when the teams gets out, they're going to add another 3 minutes onto the clock. All
right, in the meantime, we can look at some of the first half highlights. As Follette had the early advantage. There's a nice pitch and catch that got them close. And then finally on a fourth down play, it was Jalen Brown going in for the touchdown, and it was a 6-0 Follette lead.
That capped the 91-yard drive, and Brown went in with 1:50 left in the first quarter. So Follette did what they needed to do, keep Sun Prairie away from the ball, because Sun Prairie took them only 1:06 to score on this drive. Long run by Schauer sets up a 12-yard quarterback keeper by Gillis here. This is his third touchdown in the last 2 weeks. Shanahan made the extra point. Sun Prairie had a 7-6 lead. That's the way it stood after the first quarter. Sun Prairie had the only 2 scores in the second quarter and started to act like a team that was going to take over the game. Gillis here to big Cooper Nelson. And then Shower completes the drive. Here's the favorite combination of your Sun Prairie fan. Shower goes the last 15 here for his 4th score in the last 2 weeks, his 7th of the year. Shower, an impressive junior who's gotten better as the year goes on, makes a nice cutback here and gives Sun Prairie a 14-6 lead with 8:56 left in the half. Here's a long heave by Broughton, the backup quarterback who came in and found the tight end Ingram to give Follette a chance, but that drive stalled. And when Sun Prairie got the ball again, it didn't take him long to strike again. There's a long pass to Shower. He gets it into the red zone, and this drive will end with Hellebrand going the last 5 yards. The sophomore running back gets his 2nd touchdown in the last 2 weeks, and it was 21-6 at the end of the half. Here's a big bomb from Probst, who alternated with Broughton at quarterback. That actually is not, it was an incomplete pass as the defender was on the end line, but it's 21-6 as we go to the half, and then the fracas ensued, and as Jay said, we just don't know what to tell you. I think the important thing that could come out of that, if there would be any ejections, because that would impact players' eligibility for next week, correct, Al?
Yes. And
you can see there's the tight standings.
Now, the officials are meeting with both head coaches down on the goal line down there, and I think they're reviewing everything. I have not seen any notifications yet of how they're going to hash this out.
With the tight race, which you see in front of you, Memorial losing tonight. They're down 14-0 and a half. There could be a 3-way tie for first at the end of this evening as Craig is winning. Sun Prairie obviously leading here at the half, so potentially 3 teams could be tied at 5-1. Verona is beating Memorial 14-0. They would go to 4-2. Middleton is winning big. They would go to 4-2. So 5 teams could be separated by 1 game with 2 weeks left in the Big 8 standings. You want me to get some scores?
Quickly, just got word that Memorial kicked a field goal, so now 14-3 is the Verona lead as they play in the 3rd quarter.
Memorial moved the ball in the first half. Cam Marshall, their talented junior running back, ran for 100 yards, but touchdowns by Aker and Lindell had given Verona a 14-0 halftime lead. It's now 14-3. Elsewhere in the Big 8 tonight, Middleton with a 40-0 lead over Parker at the half. Craig with a 20-0 lead over East at halftime. And in the Badger, DeForest with a 21-7 lead over Baraboo. Other Badger scores, Mount Horeb leading Reedsburg 29-20. Oregon over previously unbeaten Stoughton 21-3. Unbeaten Monona Grove 42-7 up on Monroe. Edgewood looking for their first win, up 20-0 on Fort Atkinson. These are all halftime scores. Watertown with a 19-0 lead over Milton. And elsewhere in the area, Marshall with a 12-7 lead over New Glarus. Cambridge 7-0 over Darlington. River Valley 27 over Lancaster. That'll keep Wes Larson happy in the truck. And Lodi with a 6-0 lead over Poinette in a big battle in the Capital North. Lodi 5-0, Poinette 4-1. That was a first quarter score. And I think that's all I got as far as scores. Up north in a big game, Kimberly 17-0 over Nina in a battle of teams both ranked in the top 4 in Division I. I think that's all I got for you in scores.
Okay, thanks. Our temperature has dropped to 53 degrees. The wind has died down a little bit, still at 8 miles an hour out of the north-northwest. But the teams are just completing their warm-up period, and we should be going in just a little bit. Halftime delayed a little bit by that skirmish we showed you as the 2 teams went to their locker rooms, and hopefully all that business is done and we can proceed here in our second half.
I've never seen 6 officials throw their flags in the air.
And
it wasn't simultaneous, but it was like it was a flag show by the dance team.
Right now, it looks like we're just going to start the second half.
Yeah, I think so.
There's no indication. I think my guess is they huddled up.
It was
and
an offset to an offset to an offset to an offset.
Yeah, there must have been 6 flags with 3 offsettings. And you guys better be nice to each other the rest of the half.
Yes.
Okay. That's why we got Alan up here to sort that out for.
Well, Stoughton has scored quickly and early in the third quarter, 21-10. Oregon still leading, but Stoughton right back in that one in Oregon tonight.
Yeah, the only other thing would be to check and see if we have any numbers missing in action, but it appears all the primary candidates, again, they would have signaled if somebody got ejected and whatever, and I think maybe it was much ado about nothing.
Well, it certainly looked like it was a lot of talking.
Yep.
No big pushing or shoving, so. All right, so here we go to start the second half as La Follette will receive. Lancers have to find some answers on offense. They scored in the final 2 minutes of the first quarter, but really couldn't muster much of anything after that. 21-6, Sun Prairie with the lead. Here's the kickoff from Connor Shanahan. Oh, check that. That's Owen Konopacki with the kick. This will be taking at the 2-yard line. And on the return is Liddell Cannon. And Cannon sprints to the outside and gets it out just short of the 30-yard line to the 27.
Excellent tackle over on that sideline. If he doesn't get him, he's up the sideline for a lot of yardage.
Let's see who's going to be the quarterback for La Follette. They've used a couple, Ben Probst. And
looks like it's going to be Probst. He's chit-chatting with Coach Swanson.
Ray Broughton has also been at that quarterback position.
Coach Swanson, longtime coach at La Follette. His grandfather, Diney Mansfield, for whom the West Side Stadium is named for.
Scott Swanson, an all Big 8 conference quarterback when he played. He also played football and tennis at UW La Crosse. Well, look at that. The pass sailed over the head of Ingram, who ducked to get out of the way. Good thing he did, because Charlie Kunkel was right behind him, and that's a first down completion for La Follette.
Yeah, nice little hitch route.
That was what was effective early for the Lancers. Kunkel and Nix were recipients of passes from Probst early in this game.
And Rademacher with some help on the tackle for Sun Prairie. Gain of 4, 2nd and 6, 31-yard line.
Back to their double tight, double split look.
Nix, the receiver, split wide left. Kunkel, wide right. This is Brown. Nope, now the quarterback, Probst, keeps it. And it's going to be 3rd and about 4 for La Follette.
Yeah, Sun Prairie's answer here is they are really jamming the gaps inside of the tackles with linebacker blitzes and making it pretty difficult to find any traction inside the tackles there.
Probst, the quarterback, looks like he's just a little hobbled or something. But
you get hit by those Sun Prairie linebackers and see how you move around.
I don't think I'd still be down, actually. 3rd and 4 from the 33. Probst. Nice catch by Nix. Let's see if he had enough forward progress to get a first down. I don't know that he did, as Jacob Powley was right there to make a tackle.
They're signaling 4th down and very short.
Got out to the 41. Or check that, the 36, I should say.
Yeah, so 4th and 2.
4th and a pretty short 2, and boy, as tempting as that might be, La Follette looks like they're going to kick it away. So Broughton's back in. He's the La Follette punter. Cambridge leading Darlington 14-6. That's a third quarter score, and yet another penalty marker flags. Delay of game against La Follette. They've had a couple of those tonight.
Yeah, I believe 2 of their 4 penalties have been delays. Now 11 penalties that have been accepted in this one. There's been 13 overall. That doesn't include the 6 flags we saw at halftime.
Yeah, they might have been trying to draw him off a little bit there. They were slow making the decision and then trying to get him drawn off.
Another high snap, but Broughton handles this one. This is one of his little side spin. Nelson catches it on the fly. Penalty marker flies. Nelson picking his way back, breaks a tackle, bowls over a tackler, and Nelson gets down to the 42, but again a flag back at the Sun Prairie 40-yard line.
And where that flag is generally indicates an illegal block in the back. So I think they're going to probably be starting back around the just inside the 30-yard line.
And that is exactly right. Lodi has taken a 13-0 lead after 3 quarters on Poynette tonight.
Poynette quarterback. Talked about the kid on Claire. The Poynette quarterback threw for 6 touchdown passes last week, didn't he?
Yeah, right. Well, this will push Sun Prairie back to the 30.
Lodi, the defending Division IV champ. And they're ranked again this year. They're ranked number 2 in Division IV.
Shower. Boy, he's pushed back. Big stop by Raymond Bailey, 5'11", 250-pound senior. Number 60 makes the tackle for loss there.
Bailey's
defense really rallied well there. It was like a defensive team meeting at Shower.
He was a second-team all-conference player last year, was Bailey.
Loss of 4, 2nd and 14 from the 25. The Follette would love a takeaway here. Shower breaks an arm tackle early, and now he's loose. Shower finally going to be taken down from behind.
There's a flag, however.
And another flag in the Sun Prairie backfield. Wow, Broughton saved a touchdown, it looked like, but again.
In fact, there's 2 flags. But those 2 guys each have a foul.
Hold, Sun Prairie, wow.
Yeah, they sold out with a blitz, and he gets outside. I think we're not sure where they called the hold, maybe right there on the edge. That's one that was kind of sometimes the defensive player spins and gets hit in the back. I'm sure that's the Sun Prairie take on that one. But it's now what are you going to do?
Well,
2nd and 20.
2nd and 20. So they lost 6 yards from the line of scrimmage.
Keep your eye on number 11.
Yeah, they'll give it a Shower. He'll gain about 9. And 3rd and long coming up for Sun Prairie. Boy, these penalties are keeping Follette with a little hope here.
We've had a lot of penalties, but no turnovers, and Follette could use a takeaway right here.
It's 3rd and 10. And that's going to be a completion. It's going to be short of the first down by about 4 or 5 yards. Dominic Lanfear on the reception, but good coverage there by Charlie Kunkel.
Good anticipation by Kunkel. He read that one very well.
Yeah, he's reacted to the ball really well. And Sun Prairie punt team's going to come out.
Yep.
And we haven't seen them much.
No.
There's Kunkel back deep. He'll be joined there by Jaden Nix. There's Connor Shanahan, the Sun Prairie punter.
I believe this is only his 2nd punt.
It would be real interesting if Follette could get a score, the next score. But they've got to do it. Low snap. Shanahan, boy, that's a line drive bouncer. This is going to be taken by Nix, and he's going to be hit almost immediately. Hakeem McCullers, 45 down there. Also Nick Ludis.
Madison Memorial just scored a touchdown. It's 14-10.
How about that, huh?
With 1:32 left in the 3rd.
Memorial's kind of the Rodney Dangerfield of the Big Eight. Everybody goes, yeah, they're 5-0, but I don't know.
Are they for real?
Tell you what, they're giving Verona a battle tonight, aren't they?
Yeah.
Tip your hat to Mike Harrison and Spartans for a 5-0 start. And
They've already qualified to make the playoffs.
They're one of the few teams in the state that's already automatically qualified.
I believe there's 7. 12 teams. McFarland's another one that have qualified to make the playoffs.
Pass for Kunkel incomplete. Lanfear on coverage again for Sun Prairie.
And the reason for that, there has to be, you have to have 5 conference wins, and so with only 5 games to play, they're in the larger conferences. So there will be a lot more added to the list this weekend.
44 can become playoff eligible tonight, including Sun Prairie. Craig's in that vote. Monona Grove, Stoughton, and Wanakee also would qualify for the playoffs with a win tonight.
In the Big Eight, 5 is an automatic qualifier, but again, as I've mentioned before, 4 wins have gotten teams in the past in the Big Eight.
Second down. Running play's not going to do much. Might have been Tyquan Turner with the carry there.
It is a credit to Scott Swanson that in each of his 5 years as coach, the Lancers have made the playoffs.
Yeah, he's done an excellent job, and he's just a great guy. In high school, he was a really great competitor, and his teams always kind of find a way to hang around and stay in the mix. They're going to empty formation here.
5 receivers for La Follette. Probst throwing. Intercepted. And a big return by Jamel Stone. Stone with one more man to beat. He'll beat him, and it's a touchdown for Sun Prairie.
Now, the thing to watch on the replay here that's super impressive is Sun Prairie follows all the Cardinal rules in terms of as soon as the ball is intercepted, the receiver is blocked immediately. He gets to the nearest sideline, and everybody then is assigned that way. There's probably usually a call made by the interceptors, and then you'll see kind of a convoy up that sideline. Somebody blocks, tries to get to the quarterback. This is like a textbook interception return.
Jamel Stone's a junior, and he looks like he knew what to do once he got the ball, too. Nice run back as everything fell into place for Sun Prairie, who now are comfortably in front by 21.
That's a killer for La Follette.
Yeah, just, again, great coaching and the kids following the plan.
Low snap, handled though by Gillis, the holder. And Shanahan puts it through 28-6 with 5:32 left third quarter.
And again, those are fundamentals that you teach from day one in those 90-degree heat. You watch, ball comes out, right immediately. That's the first guy to get is the receiver. And now you see the wall kind of built there of, getting the most dangerous defenders.
That was a nice move to get around the quarterback. Probst.
It was. Probst had put himself in a good situation. And then you hope guys don't block behind the ball, kind of foolish penalties, because he can run pretty fast. So he's not going to get caught very many people from behind.
58-yard pick six for Jamel Stone.
So the Sun Prairie defense puts points on the board. 28-6.
And that is your dagger. I believe somebody wants to.
There you go.
We got a lot of football left, but that's a big play. First turnover of the night.
Yeah, that was Sun Prairie's MO last year. They'd make big plays on defense, and they'd score more often than not on some of those big turnovers. And
that's that turnover you're looking for, and there's a hot dog hero.
There you go.
So that one of the defensive coaches supplies hot dogs for guys who corral turnovers and stuff. So
Owen Konopacki, another kickoff. Boy, he has got a heck of a leg. He bangs that one through the end zone, touchdown.
All the way to the back of the end zone that time.
So that defensive coach is now out 14 hot dogs in the last 4.5 games.
That's a lot of dogs.
The Brewers changed their hot dog guys at the end of last year. You think
that's
Prairie
right.
did it after
I don't know.
going to the state final?
They're going to be lining up for sponsorship opportunities.
I would think.
Okay.
They lost the turnover battle 3-1 to Memorial on opening night, and now they are plus 12 since. Funny how that works, that you go on the verge of going 5-0.
That is typically your number one determining factor. We got an early flag before anybody gets out.
What statistics, what numbers did you really pay attention to, Alan?
Well, turnover margin is probably the number one thing. The other one is you look for explosive plays. How many, and again, an explosive run would be a plus 10 run. An explosive pass would be, a plus 15 pass. So those are your top indicators. And then you dig a little deeper into missed tackles.
Illegal substitution was the penalty.
Wow. 1st and 15. Here's Broughton. He'll just get the snap and head upfield, and he gets about 4.
Yeah, and that's a strange. I'm not sure it was how can be illegal substitution. There wasn't really unless there were an extra guy in the huddle. I guess that Follette does huddle, and then somebody took off. So,
I believe that was the signal he gave.
Yeah.
Fifth penalty of the night for LaFollette. We're now up to 13. I've run out of toes and fingers. So.
Again, they're going with Broughton at quarterback.
Back to the empty look.
Pump and go. And the wind got a hold of that one, I think, and the closest one to it was the Sun Prairie defender, the guy that scored the touchdown on the interception return, Jamel Stone, and went out of bounds incomplete.
Yeah, and this front that Sun Prairie uses is a heavy pressure front that allows them to, a lot of times they trigger at least 2 linebackers. And so from a protection standpoint, this gets to be pretty difficult for the O-line because in an empty formation, no one's going to help. And so to pass off rushers and identify who's got who is can be quite the challenge.
Now LaFollette's looking at 3rd and 12 from their own 18.
One of those big boys up front. Maven crashes at 5 sacks this year, 6 tackles for a loss. Dan Hawk's been a presence. He wears 80.
Can you believe it? Another flag.
You got offside on the defense.
Boy, week 6, this just shouldn't be happening.
No, it shouldn't.
No.
And
it's not happening as much.
no, and that'll give Coach Kaminsky something to chew on them about on Monday.
Sure.
Just when they think they're really good.
Cardinals get East here next week for homecoming and then finish on the road in the Big 8 at Middleton and at West.
This one's deep and nearly intercepted again. Tom Beck has had his hands on it, and he looks at his hands like, why'd you guys let me down?
Yep.
And it's going to be 4th down and 7 for the Lancers.
Edgewood up 30-0 over Fort Atkinson. That'd give them their 2nd win on the season and their 1st in the conference.
Okay, Broughton into punt again. And LaFollette scored the first touchdown of the game, late first quarter. It was 6-0. But Sun Prairie has scored 28 straight. Looking to go 5-1 in the conference. High snap again. Penalty marker down. This one's a pop-up. Near midfield. Nelson calls for the fair catch and makes it.
Yeah, it looked like the motion man on the punt. They're trying to get a bonus guy to where he's trying to kick it. Turned upfield before the snap.
They have a short field as it is, so I don't know if they're going to make them kick it again. I think they're going to decline the penalty.
I think they're just going to pick it up. Again, you normally don't want to take the chance of it. If you can catch the ball cleanly, you're just like, we'll take it there. Well, actually, they get to add it on to the end, so they get the 5 yards that way, which I think is a really nice way to help speed the game along instead of they're really trying to avoid the re-kicks in the game.
And that's a new rule change, right?
Yes.
And we thank them. 1st and 10 at the 44 for Sun Prairie. Pitch and catch to Cooper Nelson. Prather drags him out of bounds. And some oohs and ahs as Nelson was taken down, what some thought was a little late.
Yeah. So again, this is again from a strategic standpoint to motion Nelson out. They have 3 wide receivers to the Sun Prairie sideline, motion him across. What Follette wants to do is to have 2 receivers on top of Nelson, but when he motions out of the backfield, that's a lot harder to handle. Now he's in this stack alignment down at the bottom here.
1st and 10 at the 32. Nelson will flip sides and then head downfield. They're looking that way for Nelson in the end zone. Had it in his hands and it fell out incomplete.
Another really nicely designed play by motioning him across. Allows them to get him on a defender, because your other option is to run the defender that normally is on him all the way across the field, and that creates issues on the backside. Very well thrown ball by Gillis. That's a ball that Nelson would typically haul in.
Defender Jalen Walls had his back turned, his head turned, had no idea the ball was coming. Now they'll hand it off to Shower. He'll head to the near side, now turn it up. And he'll stay in bounds, and that's a pretty good run for Nathan Shower.
Yeah, he does a great job of stretching the defense and then sticking his foot in the ground and getting vertical. And sometimes it's a cutback. In this case, he gets to the sideline, he just tears right up the sideline here. He's going to stick that foot in the ground and really keep his feet moving really well.
Kunkel and Mason Saunders on the tackle for Follette. But 1st down at the 15. That was a gain of 17 by Shower. Now here's the quarterback. Gillis keeping it. Escaped 1 tackle, but not the second. And down he goes. Cameron Pelnitz on the stop for the Lancers. Loss in the play.
That looked like it was inside trap play, and I don't know if Gillis pulled that on his own. At this point with this score, I don't know that Coach Kaminsky wants Gillis to be running the ball that much.
Loss of 4, in fact. Gillis. Complete. That's Ethan Ackley with the catch.
And he's a handful in the open field. You get him on the edge with smaller corners and safeties. He's got great hands.
Well, the way we watch this team, well, this is what our 3rd time we've seen him, but watch the evolution of this team. They got some playmakers. Mm-hmm. I mean, Ackley and Davies is a secondary threat. Then obviously Nelson's a big-time high school receiver. Gillis has grown in front of our eyes, and Shower has developed into a heck of a back.
3rd and 4 from the 9, penalty marker.
I think, the development of the offensive line has really allowed, Gillis to develop. They've just done a really good job of utilizing their weapons and formations and everything too.
And that penalty on La Follette is going to give Sun Prairie a first down inside the 5. They'll wind the clock, 2:25 left, third quarter. First and goal at the 4 for Sun Prairie. They're going to throw it. They're going to catch it. It's a touchdown, Sun Prairie to Cooper Nelson.
So again, they started off Nelson in the backfield, 3 wide receivers, motion him opposite. And it's, again, hard to give help when they motion into an empty formation.
34-6, Sun Prairie.
8th touchdown of the year for Nelson. 14th touchdown pass of the year for Gillis.
Shanahan for another extra point attempt. It is good. 35-6, Sun Prairie. Well, La Follette started the year 3-1. They had wins over Madison West, Light Memorial, and Janesville Parker. They lost last week to Janesville Craig 17-10, and now they're in a big hole, 35-6 to Sun Prairie. You look at, again, the Gillis to Nelson touchdown pass. Kicker Connor Shanahan.
Nelson had 39 receptions all of last year. He came into this game with 29. Got to think he's set 4 or 5, so he's almost up to last year's total when he was their leading receiver in just 6 games this year, and he's a good one.
You know, and La Follette's got a really tough road here to go. He's got Verona next week, then a game at East that they should win, although that's the East Side rival.
Yeah, right.
and then and Middleton. So they still have a pretty good shot at getting in at 4 and 5. But if they're going to not be favored against Verona nor against Middleton.
Well, Verona has kept the football against Madison Memorial the entire fourth quarter so far, so it's still 17-10. Verona leading.
Verona just scored a touchdown.
Oh boy, Verona has scored again. So
with 2:38 left.
So Memorial's undefeated season in serious jeopardy if that stays as it is. An opportunity knocks for Sun Prairie. We still have another quarter to go. 2:11 left in the third. Well, I think both teams are going to get a chance for some guys to get some playing time that might not normally get some playing time here in the fourth quarter. Broughton back at quarterback. Hands to the motion man, Liddell Cannon. And Cannon will get 2 or 3.
Yeah, that's brings back some bad memories of Saturday. The old BYU using the fly sweep, jump sweep look there. So hopefully Bucky can bounce back tomorrow at Iowa.
It will not be easy as Iowa plays really good teams really well. Night games at Kinnick Stadium. But the Badgers are favored by 3, so we'll see how that shakes out tomorrow night. 7:30 p.m. kickoff at Kinnick Stadium.
What time's the bus leave for you to Iowa City?
The bus leaves at 1 p.m. The bus coming back will probably be leaving at about midnight, I would think. Broughton looking for Kunkel, incomplete. Landfear on coverage again for Sun Prairie.
The glamorous life of Jay Wilson takes him into Iowa City tomorrow.
It's going to be great. I tell you, Kinnick, it's a pretty cool place for a football game.
Yeah.
I mean, the fans are as close as you can
Yeah,
possibly be.
right on top of you.
And they they do some pretty funny stuff. I mean, they research the players to get their goat. You know?
Uh-huh.
Most of the time, it's pretty funny.
Well, you would expect that from higher education, right?
That's true. Never thought of that.
Yeah, so it's 21-10, Verona over Memorial. So it's going to be like a extra special for Sun Prairie after this game.
3rd and 9, and looks like we're going to have a timeout. Perfect.
I think Follette took the timeout.
1:17 left, third quarter.
Yeah, if all the results hold, we'll have a three-way tie atop the Big Eight between Memorial, Craig, and Sun Prairie. With, again, Middleton and Verona just a game back at 4-2.
That makes next week's Craig Middleton game on our game of the week something special.
Right, and, Craig is one of those teams that's, kind of different. They run a different offense than other teams. They're a flex bone team, heavy run, and very important for them to stay close and in front. They're not going to be a come from behind type of team. The big challenge is it's a unique offense that other teams in the league really do not run.
Craig's got a Wisconsin Badger recruit, a lineman, that integral part of that offense. Be interesting to see the big guy up front for Craig.
Probst finds his man. That's complete. That's to Ingram. And that's going to be a Sun Prairie first down.
Yep, little play action off of the jet sweep action.
Haven't had a whole lot of Sun Prairie first downs tonight, but that's one there is Probst and Ingram hook up. Clock running now under a minute in the third quarter. This is Broughton. And a loose ball picked up by Sun Prairie. That's Hawk. He's into the end zone. Touchdown Cardinals. Second defensive score of the night for Sun Prairie.
I think it's going to stand, too. That's his second fumble recovery for a touchdown as well this year for Hawk.
They didn't rule him down, and that's the disadvantage of fumbling in front of the opposing team's sideline. If it's on your own sideline, then they're usually get a little help with the official, but we'll see on the replay if it came out or not.
It means we're going to play running time for the remainder of the night unless Follette would score.
The margin is 35, the magic number. Here's
Here
Broughton. I think it was knocked out by Jacob Powley, and then Hawk picked it up, and Hawk flew into the end zone.
That's Powley's second forced fumble of the year, and again, Hawk's second fumble recovery for a touchdown. He's got that scoop and score down pretty well.
Extra point was good, 42-6 Sun Prairie.
And again, you can tell that Sun Prairie has really worked hard on turnovers and converting turnovers into points. Previously the interception, but again on this, there were a lot of hats around the ball, and as soon as that was picked up, the nice convoy right down the sideline.
Wanakee has defeated Sauk Prairie 51-0. Lodi has defeated Poinette 27-7.
And Verona just scored again after an interception, so Verona's up 28-10.
Wow.
With 1:45 left.
Yeah, that's a good bounce back win for Verona, which, assuming it will hold. So it looks like the Big Eight Conference race is going to tighten considerably after this evening. Konopaki. That will stay short of the end zone, so La Follette will have to return it. And in the end zone, safety. So the Sun Prairie special teams get into the act.
I think Dominic Strady makes the play, number 12.
Wow.
He's a little guy at 5'5", 150 pounds, but he just gives his team 2 points for the great special team play.
44-6 on the safety.
I know that might cause Coach a hot dog too.
Yeah.
That's a pretty impressive play when the kickoff team gets a safety.
Yep, you don't see it. Here it is again as Draquan Smith is the returner. He went back into the end zone, and look at that play by Strady. Oh, he just slapped his ankles and took him down. So the offense, the defense, and the special teams all scoring tonight for Sun Prairie. Lots of smiles on that Cardinals sideline. Not so many on the La Follette sideline.
And for Sun Prairie, going to be heavily favored in 2 of the 3 games. They do make a trip to Middleton on October 5th. That'll be a very interesting game.
Yep. Beaver Dam defeated Portage 42-15 tonight.
First win for Beaver Dam. Portage still looking for a conference win.
So after a safety, they're going to kick off from the 20. They have a choice of using the tee with the traditional kickoff or to punt the ball. And La Follette's going to punt. Same rules apply. You can fair catch it. It has to go at least 10 yards.
Still 29 seconds left, third quarter. Broughton punts it. Kind of dies on the grass. Now the return. And this is Jacob Hellenbrand. And Hellenbrand, the fine sophomore running back, makes something out of it. And another short field for Sun Prairie here as the clock rolls to the final seconds of the third quarter.
Yeah, Hellenbrand's a really quick running back and shows he knows what to do with the ball when he's in the open field. We have numerous changes in the Sun Prairie offense here. I think the actual quarter is going to run out. And we'll have a running clock throughout the fourth quarter.
And it has. We are through 3 quarters at Ashley Field in Sun Prairie. The Cardinals leading the Lancers 44-6. The final 12 minutes coming up. You're watching the Prep Mania Game of the Week on TBW and channel3000.com. Four, three. Fourth quarter has begun. Carson Fluno is now the quarterback for Sun Prairie as Richie Gillis' night is done, with Sun Prairie leading at 44-6, and that's a 7-yard gain for the new quarterback for Sun Prairie.
He's a junior, 6 feet, 160 pounds is Carson Fluno. And the clock doesn't stop even if he went out of bounds.
So this will take, well, probably about 11 minutes and 20 seconds.
Unless they score.
Unless they score.
What is it, Al?
Or,
But, you know, we're going to have a few penalties along the way.
of course. Well, they haven't stopped it. So we press on. Got a tweet from Deb Harbert, who's the assistant to athletic director Eric Nee out here in Sun Prairie. She said she had a bit of nostalgia. She started with the Sun Prairie Athletic Department when Cooper Nelson was 3 months old. And you know who hired Deb Harbert?
I would guess it would be A.D. Scott Nelson.
Athletic Director Scott Nelson. Cooper's dad.
Current sports psychologist on the sideline.
Yeah, that's right.
We were talking with him before the game, asking what he really does.
Yeah.
How many hats has he worn over the years?
Oh, my goodness. There's Fluno dancing around, and down goes Fluno. That's a sack for Tramail Robinson for La Follette. So the Lancers getting some new faces in there as well. Kimberly beat Neenah 38-0 in Fox Valley tonight.
Whoa.
That tells you the paper makers might have lost a game to start the year, but they still got a good chance to be in the hunt when they go for their 6th straight state title come playoff time.
No, and again, it's always interesting to see which team the WA puts in the pod with the Big 8. So I think a couple years ago they actually had to, Kimberly came down this way.
Yeah. Arrowhead's been in with the Big 8 teams in the past. Arrowhead's taken its lumps this year in the Classic 8, however. They lost 3 times already this year, which is almost unheard of.
It's an offside at La Follette. Edgerton with a big win over Beloit Turner tonight, 52-16. Yeah, were you waiting for the Crivets-Suring score? Crivets is the winner, 57-14 over Suring. That's up north. It's going to be about 31 degrees up there tonight, isn't it?
No mosquitoes at that Crivets tilt.
Yeah. Here's our run by Sun Prairie's Keith Young. Young's a 5'9", 205-pound senior. Look at those snazzy leggings he's got, too. How about that? It's pink out night here as the Sun Prairie fans and students recognize the fight against breast cancer. There you see all the pink in the stands. We're down to 8:18 in the fourth quarter. It's a 4th down for Sun Prairie. Fluno throwing, complete. That's going to be a first down. Malik Tuzani with the reception.
Yeah, nice throw. Little flash fake, steps right into it. Beautiful catch.
Yeah, pass was behind him, but Tuzani made the adjustment.
Tuzani 6'1", 135 pounds. They got to get him in the weight room.
Wow, $135. He's lean.
Athletic, judging by the catch he made in the
Sure.
preceding play.
Ithaca over Lafarge Kickapoo, 50-0 tonight. This is 1st and 10 for Sun Prairie. This is Young. The big guy bowls his way inside the 10. Boy, McFarland's good, huh? 51-12 over Bigfoot.
No, I think they had their toughest games at the beginning of the year also.
Yeah. They're ranked 3rd in the state in Division III, behind Catholic Memorial and New Berlin Eisenhower.
Their quarterback is a returner, and he threw for a lot of yardage last year, and he's been lighting it up pretty much every week.
It's a final from Verona. The Wildcats beat Madison Memorial 28-10. So the Big 8 conference race is really a mess now. Looks like it's going to be Craig, Sun Prairie, Madison Memorial, all 5-1. Here's Dominic Strady, who got that safety on special teams earlier. Now he gets a chance to run. Penalty marker flies late as one of the Sun Prairie guys went flying. Now another penalty marker down. Clock will continue to run with 6:10 left. Now they'll stop it. It's going to go against Sun Prairie. Unsportsmanlike. Boy, at this point, you just want to get out of Dodge, don't you? Both the coaches.
And
That's the third 15-yard penalty among 11 fouls called against Sun Prairie tonight.
right, and both coaches are trying to corral their young men and trying to get them to finish this out the right way, and figuring out what the officials, who the culprits were, and what set it off. And
well, here's a score. Oregon 35, Stoughton 10. So the Panthers with a big win at home in the Badger South.
Stoughton was ranked 6th in Division II, unbeaten coming into that game. That's probably the upset of the night, maybe statewide.
I would think so.
yeah, those are two communities that are fairly close together, and Oregon has always played Stoughton pretty tough, and that's one of the things that once you get inside of some of those conferences, some schools just play other people really, really tough. And, Oregon, Dan Kissling's done a really good job there for a long time. He's kind of been hidden underneath the Monona Grove shadow.
Another handoff to Young, and another tackle by Robinson. Yeah, that's a pretty big shadow, that Monona Grove shadow.
Yeah, no, they've been really good for a long time, and then the last couple of years, Dan Prawl and Stoughton have done a really, really good job.
Peyton Jenkins, a sophomore running back, is the injured player for Sun Prairie.
And you think about it, I think, Stoughton's got three guys on the Badger roster. Krumholtz is a wide receiver, and Schipper is on the team, and then P.J. Rosowski, though injured.
But how tough is it? I don't need to ask you. How tough is the Badger Conference? Among Division II schools, 3 are ranked. Waunakee's ranked 2nd in the state behind Brookfield Central. Monona Grove's 5th, and Stoughton was 6th coming into the night. And then throw Mount Orr-Barneveld in there. They're ranked 6th in Division III. No wonder you're up here with us and not coaching.
No kidding.
Good move.
No, but,
You're undefeated this year, by the way.
The Badger Conference is probably the premier Division II conference in the state. What the unknown is, someone's going to come out of the Badger and get really deep, and it's usually Waunakee. The last couple of years, Monona Grove's had some deep runs as well. The question then is, where is the Milwaukee enrollments? In other words, for like Waukesha West or Brookfield East, who comes out of that, pack there? Because that's really the edge. Usually at Greendale is either, a small 2 or a large 3.
Janesville Craig has defeated Madison East 34-6, so our 3-way tie looks like it's going to take shape in the Big 8 atop the conference. Nice to see Peyton Jenkins walking off under his own power, the injured player for Sun Prairie. Here's Fluno, rushes on. He throws toward the end zone. Oh, boy, that was a sure interception, it looked like, as Liddell Cannon can't believe his hands deceived him on that one.
No, and at the same time, knocking it down wouldn't have been the worst either, unless he thought he was going to take it to the house.
I think he looks like he's got some room to roam
he
here,
did
though.
Have some green grass in front of him.
Oh, I think he saw that green grass and didn't wrap it up. Huh?
Butler foul holds on downs,
Yep.
and so I should say it moves them back to the line of scrimmage, which is outside the 20.
Here's a score that you might go, why would we care about this? Neelsville Granton 14, Altoona 6. The reason it's significant, Neelsville Granton snapped a 52-game conference losing streak that had dated back to the 2011 season.
Wow.
Get the fire engines out.
Wow. The Cleveland Browns and Neelsville Granton winning the same week. When was the last time?
Do we have a full moon?
Wow.
I don't think so.
That's a long time. That's 52
52.
conference losses. That goes back.
2011. Yikes.
I think they had soda machines that opened up
Phone
on
booths.
Wi-Fi. Everybody got free soda from
Oh,
Neilsville Grant. It's like Cleveland had it last night.
Nope, we had
Yeah,
a
it looks like a
bobbled
loose
snap,
ball.
loose ball, and it looks like
And Sun Prairie's got it.
another hot dog hero.
Boy.
Third turnover of the night for Sun Prairie. They've all come in the second half.
This is becoming a night that old Coach Swanson might want to just bury this film.
Yeah.
I actually did that once.
Is that right?
In the old VHS tape, we had a ceremonial burying of the.
Buried it?
Yeah, we did.
Wow. Could you go find that now? You
I know where it is, but I can't reveal.
And there it
I
will
don't want
stay.
to. I don't want to lose my job. It might be when they do some renovation, they might dig up.
Oh,
some,
okay.
Dig it up
All
sometime.
right.
They're doing a lot of
Like a
restoration at
like a
Edgewood.
time capsule on Monroe Street.
I
Yeah.
tell you what, if you're near Monroe Street, that could get dug up this week. You never know. Here's a pass that's incomplete out of the end zone. Now we're under 3 minutes left.
I think that was one of those Lou Holtz ideas. We're just going to put this one to rest. And
Remember when Don Morton came out of the coffin? Said we're not dead yet.
Once upon a time, Follette led this game. It was 6-0.
Isn't that something?
They went 91 yards to
who would have thunk it?
take the lead.
Yeah.
The minute 50 left in the first quarter, but Sun Prairie's put 44 straight points up. 16 came in a span of a minute 42 at the end of the third quarter.
Another quarterback, another running back in there.
That's David Wilson on the carry. Closing in on 2 minutes here.
A quarterback, Ross Follette.
He's a senior. So Sun Prairie going to go to 5-1, tying for the lead in the Big 8 Conference with Madison Memorial and Janesville Craig. And boy, that opening week loss to Memorial seems like it was a long, long time ago for these Sun Prairie Cardinals. There's a fumbled handoff. It looks like the quarterback.
Follette got
got it
back
back.
on the ball, yeah.
It's one of those where they both want that ball really bad.
Yeah, this won't be the prettiest final 2 minutes, but
Richie Gillis with one touchdown run tonight. Came up at the end of the first quarter. It was a 12-yarder. After Shanahan made the first of 6 extra points, Sun Prairie had the lead for good. Gillis also threw a 5-yard pass to Nelson. Nathan Schauer with a 15-yard run. Jacob Hellenbrand with a 5-yard scoring run. And then the defensive touchdown, Jamel Stone with a 58-yard pick six, which really broke this one open. Then Gillis to Nelson for 5 yards. And Hawk with the fumble recovery in the end zone. There's the final score right there.
that's Keith Young getting into the end zone.
Yeah,
the
I was happy.
senior running back.
Happy for him. He's ran the ball hard these last few minutes and got rewarded with a nice touchdown there. Good blocking.
So the clock will stop with 47 seconds left.
Keith Young's a senior, 5'9", 205. You can see his teammates happy for him.
I'm taking nominations for talking to the player of the game. Any thoughts?
They got so many
They
weapons.
got so many.
Yeah,
You
they
know where
do.
I'm leaning? I'm leaning Ethan Ackley, just because.
Yeah, I think that he's doing the dirty work both sides of the ball. Certainly one of the best players in the area that I've seen. That he can do it all. He's an outstanding blocker, very good receiver, and you can tell he's kind of the heart of that defense too.
I mean, there's 9 other guys you could talk to, but
Right.
They're going to go for 2 here, I think.
it's 50-6.
And just for good measure, they're going to take a delay of game penalty, too.
See, I wonder if they're just going to take a knee.
That's Gillis, the regular quarterback in there.
It's only
Yeah.
appropriate.
And that's
That's
Shanahan, the kicker, back. Yeah, they'll just take a knee.
Yeah.
There we go. Shanahan was even holding the tee.
No, and it's one of those awkward things when you're coaching. These aren't fun on either side.
Here's Young's touchdown run.
You want to reward kids like Young that have worked really hard. I'm sure a lot of his time in practice is spent going against the top defense, and you want to be able to reward the young man for being part of the team, and you're not meant to run it up on La Follette and embarrass them in any way. And at the same time, Coach Swanson's in a situation where, okay, this one's done and over. These other kids need to play some. We're not going to put our best kids out there. They need to be ready next week. And so it's just one of those unfortunate situations where sometimes it gets away from one team or the other.
Follette plays its last 3 games at Lucier Stadium. They host Verona next week, and they play East, where East is technically the home team. Maybe that's at Breeze Stevens. I should double-check that. Anyway, they host Verona, then play at East, and end the season by hosting Middleton. That's the Lancer Big 8 schedule over the last 1/3 of the season. You believe we're 2/3? Fall doesn't start till tomorrow.
Right,
the
isn't this
season's 2/3
unbelievable? It's
over.
unbelievable how quickly it goes. Once you get into the games, that's why comparative to other sports where you only have 1 game a week, man, it goes fast.
Well, La Follette will still be 3-3 with 3 games to go in the regular season. So as we've mentioned, their playoff aspirations still very much alive. Here's a line drive off the kick and the return, and with 40 seconds left in the clock running, and one more penalty marker for good measure here at the end.
And we should point out La Follette played tonight without Kavian James Ragland, a golf conference performer on both sides of the ball. You hope he can get healthy for the stretch drive. And they gave Sun Prairie a thrill early. I mean,
they came out with great energy and really executed really well that first quarter. Just eventually wore down.
Just for the record, I think this is going to be a penalty against Sun Prairie, isn't it?
Yep.
And from
that's 13 penalties on Sun Prairie and 19 in the game.
Coach Kaminsky's standpoint, I think Sun Prairie had played a really, really fine football game. At the same time, he's concerned about the penalties and that type of thing. But wow, again, defense stepped up really, really big with 2 defensive touchdowns.
And special teams with a safety and a kickoff. So pretty complete effort by the Sun Prairie Cardinals. They win it over Madison La Follette by the final of 50-6. Everybody's in a hurry to get out of here. They've already taken the score off the scoreboard, and they're shutting her down.
Well, you got it right, though. You were paying attention.
Yeah,
we got a Sun Prairie, the champs of the Big 8 last year. You look at the standing right now. They're tied for first again with Memorial and Janesville Craig with 3 weeks left in the season.
Their confidence is sky high as they head to Week 7 next week. Yeah. And again, our final score, Sun Prairie 50 and Madison La Follette 6. So that gets us to next week. Friday night we'll be in Middleton as the 5-1 Janesville Craig Cougars face off with the 4-2 Middleton Cardinals. We'll be with you on TBW and channel3000.com 7 o'clock next Friday night from Brighton Box Stadium and the brand new turf in Middleton. Alan Minert, Bill Brophy, thanks for being with us.
Yeah.
Drive safely to Iowa.
Yeah, thank you. Hope to see you next Friday night.
And bring us a dub, will you?
I'll do what I can. Final score, Sun Prairie 50, Madison La Follette 6. For our entire Rush Media crew, Bill Brophy, Alan Minert, Jay Wilson. Again, reminder, next Friday night, Janesville Craig at Middleton, 7 o'clock on TBW and channel3000.com. Thanks for being with us, and good night from Ashley Field in Sun Prairie.
I'm one of these guys that loves them. Nobody wants to be with somebody that loves them. No, people hate them.
Okay. Sun Prairie wins its 5th straight. Ethan Ackley's one of the best two-way players in the entire state of Wisconsin. And Ethan, let's see, the offense scored points, the defense scored points, the special teams scored points. That's a pretty complete game for you guys, isn't it?
Yeah, it's super complete. I mean, the whole team all around played really well. So.
And what's made this defense come together? I mean, you guys are on such a roll now.
I mean, it's really the chemistry. I mean, our team's really come together and bonding really well as the season goes on. And it's awesome to watch, really. As one of the leaders of this team, it's awesome.
Yeah, and the confidence must be sky high as well.
Oh, for sure. Oh, yeah. I mean, we only let up 6 points tonight, so I mean, it's got to be out there, you know.
Yeah, and now you're back in the Big 8 conference race, and you're
Memorial
qualified for the
loss,
play.
Memorial loss.
Life is good, isn't it?
Yeah, life is good.
All right. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. Can I shout out
you may.
GBB real quick, my boys, Adam and Hakeem.
Well, there you go. And that makes it complete. Thanks, Ethan. Sun Prairie wins. They're 5-1, tied for first in the Big 8 conference.